All right. Hello, hello. Good morning. Good morning. Let me put on this band. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Good morning. Dun dun. Elvin's music can be found in the description. All right. Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Two really great stories to go over today. Very exciting stuff. Ran into intense, ridiculous tech issues this morning with the pod. Very upsetting. So, gonna get through these stories today and gonna go run off to go edit that podcast. Great podcast today planned. I was delayed like 4 hours today this morning. I got up so early and everything, and the technology is trying to stop me. They just don't want this podcast out. The patriarchy is trying to stop me. Okay? Go ahead and pause Elvin's music in 1, 2, and 3. All right. So 2 big stories to go over today. I'm sure we're going to get copyrighted. This week for copyright has been kind of crazy. I think all of YouTube is a little suffering right now. And so yesterday's stream got demonetized and blocked. And then I appealed and I got demonetized, and then I appealed again and it's probably going to stay demonetized. So go ahead and like the stream, subscribe, send a super chat if you so feel like it, or become a member. Honestly, that's a win-win for everybody, right? You get something, I get something, we all win. With that said, have you guys been on TikTok lately? Look, I don't know what to do with this whole Trump saving TikTok narrative, but this man showed up on my timeline. TikTok, you're welcome, TikTok, I saved you. And I'm like, why is this man with his own account on my timeline? What are we doing about this? What's our solution here? I got jump scared. I was like, why is this man on my timeline? What are we doing? What's our decision? What's our collective decision? What are we doing as a collective? I don't know what to do. I love my TikTok. But he was on there, Amber, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Appreciate that so much. Enjoy that membership, guys. Thank you so much. What are we supposed to do with it? I really love my TikTok, girls. YouTube Shorts is just not where it's at. Yeah, what are we going to do about that? I don't know. I do love my TikToks, and I'm going to show you exactly why I love my TikToks. So if you guys haven't been on my side of TikTok, Sora is everywhere. It is the new AI Sora unleashed to the masses, and everyone is just enjoying the F out of it. And yesterday during member stream, we did talk about AI. I'm having some conflicting feelings about AI. I feel from like an evolutionary standpoint, this is just going to happen and we have to adapt. And then, of course, even though it's just going to happen, it doesn't mean we can't ask for regulation and try to keep people safe, because the way that this technology is shaping up, it threatens people's safety. I mean, not that they needed it. If they were gonna attack you for whatever reason, or pick you up or kidnap you off the streets, they didn't need an AI video to do it. But it is getting really weirdly good, and it's going to put a lot of people sort of in danger. And it's not just in danger from the government; it is in danger from you. The reason I don't like mob rule, the reason I remind you guys, like the crowd murdered Jesus, is because the mob justice is an issue. When we do things as a collective, the idea is for the betterment of everybody. When we do things as a mob, the idea is just to get revenge, and we're not going to do that. So be very cautious if you see somebody on TikTok saying something you think they've said, and make sure it is an AI, because that is the next step of chaos, is you mistaking your neighbor for saying something they didn't even say, right? And again, this is why I take a radical stance, basically of saying like violence is never the answer, even though it can be helpful, even though it can cope, even though it can band-aid. It's not really the answer. It's just it helps sometimes, but it's not really the answer. And often more than not, violence is used for very bad reasons. So be very careful. Now, before we get into real people, the other category that AI is a threat to is sort of creative endeavors, which we know. And I do believe AI will never replace real artists, but I also take like a pretty aggressive stance that I think we should be sharing a lot of what we create, in a sense, as long as no one's like, sort of co-opting something that somebody created as a pretending to be them kind of way. But there is this attack on anime that is happening that I'm just not mad about, but everyone else is pretty mad about. But I'll give you an example of AI being used for anime, and the anime companies are not excited about it. Okay, I have 2 examples to show you. Here's the first one. Here's Gojo and Goku, the fight we've really been waiting for.
勝ち目はない。やってみろ。気を切らね。領域展開。何？ お前に勝ち目は。
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset about it. I just, you know, but maybe that's my anime girliness, which, by the way, we will talk about. We also have an anime topic to talk about today, but let's focus on AI. So I'm not mad about it. Like, it's going to take a lot of energy for me to be mad when I just love that stuff. I love anime. I want to see it recreated. I want to see it reimagined, and official, you know, animators aren't doing it. Now, if official animators would give us something, and I know in the past they've tried to do like kind of little things here and there. If they would give us a whole, like, who would win in a fight series, we wouldn't need to AI it. We'd have the official people working on it, but they don't give us what we want. So there you go. Okay, how about this one though?
You made me be the freaking demon sister! Look at this! Pink robes, a bamboo chew toy, this is bullcrap! Cartman, you lost the draw, someone had to be Nezuko. Yeah, and it just
Everyone
me,
shut
huh?
the fuck up! I'm practicing my Hinokami Kagura!
Somehow this is not a real episode
I'm sorry, that is so, I don't even like South Park, but that is so fucking funny. And I wish it was real.
of South Park. This is one of those animations being created with a new
I'm sorry, I cannot be mad about that. That's so funny. Okay? Mikey membership for 20 months says, I feel like AI can help us create incredible animations, but the problem is we won't have any fresh water afterwards. Well, that's true. Listen, obviously we have got to pay attention to things. I think more or less we should be worried about the people who are in charge of these things, more or less, and afraid of ourselves. We should be concerned about ourselves. I know people want to blame everybody else, but like, we create the world we live in. We are the world's a reflection of us as a whole. So, you know, start with yourself and figure out how you've utilized AI. So as an example, I'm okay with AI slop on YouTube not being monetized, in a sense that if you know, I would never as a creative take someone else's content and splice it into 20 different channels of like mashed up, you know, whatever monologues by other people just to make slop content. Because that's not helping anyone. That's not helping the person you're taking from. It's not helping the platform. If somebody was making really well edited videos of their favorite YouTubers, like fan-made videos are often very good, right? Fan-made videos can be very well made, and I don't care if fans are making money in that way. What I think is slop, though, is when you're not even a fan, you don't even like the work, you're just doing it because you think it's easy money. You make really bad AI content. That's not going to help anybody, right? So I understand why people are upset. But I really have seen just such amazing AI work that I know comes from someone's desire to see it. So I love it. Also, if I'm going to be real, and after yesterday's conversation with my members, I've been thinking about it. I think it's just me as a person. You know, I think maybe this is literally the autistic Britney, but I think like 12-year-old Britney had always dreamed something like this would be real. Like, I think 12-year-old Britney always dreamed of being like, hey, what if Goku and Gojo had a fight? And then putting it into a computer and just having it happen is like, I want that. I want to be able to, I think that's good, right? I think the dilemma is, can I have this thing without it coming at the expense of all these other things? And that's the ethical conversation we need to have, right? My Undead Love member for 12 months. Let's go. So again, obviously real animation is always better. I mean, I would argue 2D animation is the best. Like, drawn animation is so good. I would argue that a lot of us are holding on to things in ways that aren't healthy, and a lot of us are hesitating to embrace the new because we're concerned in a real way, and I think that's valid too. So I think everyone has valid fears, valid joys. There's a lot of validity going around. Okay, let's finish this video.
new Sora 2 AI, and clearly it has some discrepancies here and there. But I mean, Jesus Christ, it fully in-depth studied the art style and knew exactly how to make the characters look like they were dressed like the characters from Demon Slayer. Especially having little details like having Kenny wear Inosuke's mask since he's the one that always covers his face. And the voice acting. The voice acting sounds so legit. The fit that Cartman was throwing about having to dress up as Nezuko sounded 100% like something that he would say. Then having having Randy come out and say he's practicing his Hinokami Kagura. Everything about this feels legit. We are seriously in for a scary future when it comes to AI. But apparently Sora 2 has gotten rid of all things copyrighted, so you can't make stuff like this anymore. Which
is like very interesting. So that is kind of where they are right now. Now, again, I think I agree with chat. Says I think we can. I see it happening in ethical ways. It's just that the companies at the top are the ones with no ethical compass, which is how it always is in every industry. Exactly. The issue isn't AI. The issue is the fact that we live under capitalism. We live with these greedy motherfuckers. We live with these men who don't think about the consequences of what they're doing. And it is primarily men and then women who uphold the patriarchy. So we do have to understand that if you're worried about AI, like there were 30 other things before that you could have worried about, but it's okay if you're worried about AI, because I think we are all allowed to worry about things that we feel we have power in or a say in. You know, we have to pick and choose our battles, and we can't all be focused on the same issues, right? We have to all be paying attention to different issues because the world is screaming with issues, right? But all of those issues stem from us as a collective. Like, we as a collective consciousness are not where we need to be. We're not where we need to be. And a big part of it is because I believe we're animals evolved over time. I do think we're like the beaver in the dam. And I don't mean this as a metaphor. I mean it literally. A beaver building a dam doesn't really like foresee how it's impacting like the world around it. In a sense, they're just like build dam, build thing, do thing, you know, and I think that that's sort of what we're doing and how we are. And I sort of take this radical stance about it, but you might have a different belief. You might think God put us here. You might think aliens put us here. You might think that you have free will, or you might think a lot of things. I think we have as much choice as we have in the moment. It's not as much as we think, but in the way that we have choice, we should make better ones, right? Okay. Look at me monologuing, running out of fucking oxygen here. Let's see. I'm reading chat. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, hold on. Look at this video here. Just trigger warning for this next video. It's they're gonna kill a Pikachu in like a pretty graphic way. And if it grosses you out, you better not eat animals, okay? Okay, if this video grosses you out, you're not allowed to eat animals anymore. That's my rule. Thank you. Damn, bro. He said Pika Wagyu? Pika who? Damn, bro. You know what's crazy about this video? The craziest part about this video isn't that it's Pikachu. It's that so many content creators like fake being out in the wild just to make cooking videos so people eat that shit up. That's what's even funnier. Is like this is mimicking of other people's videos. Half these people who pretend they're camping aren't even doing that shit. They're just doing it for the video. They literally show up, film, get back in their car, and go home. Just to get you an aesthetic. Damn, bro. I mean, you know? Yo, okay. Little tail on the top. Yo, that's wild. Okay, another video, Pikachu.
Working with Pikachu. As you can see, they come conveniently packaged for the modern consumer. However, proper thawing is crucial before grilling. The key to a perfectly grilled Pikachu is a slow, even thaw. We want to avoid any uneven cooking, which can lead to a less than optimal texture. Now that our Pikachu is properly thawed, we can begin the preparation for grilling. We'll be using a simple kebab technique to ensure even cooking and maximum flavor. We remove the head and limbs to allow for better heat distribution. These parts tend to cook faster than the body, and we want a uniform result. The skewer allows us to rotate the Pikachu over the flame, ensuring every side is cooked to perfection. The metal also conducts heat from the inside, aiding in thorough cooking.
Damn, bro. There you go. There you go. So, of course, you know, there's something to be said about like you know, did you guys have a GeoCities growing up? Do you guys have like a website? Do you guys do MySpace? I never felt more powerful in my life than me pretending I could code and have like a little website, and like just my mouse cruiser having a little tail made me so giddy as a kid, right? Okay, this is what it feels like to me. It feels like a recreation, the next level of GeoCities, which is AI, playing around, taking the thing that's in my head and making it into a video. And I know you're saying, but what about the animators? What about the people who do by hand? I think it's like every craft. It's like, how many of you have statues made by individuals in your home? And how many of you have statues mass produced by Walmart? Like, you can't afford it. We can't afford real art by real people. And I don't even know that you would have bought it, but it's interesting, this idea. Now, I would love to be wealthy enough to buy real art by real people. I just don't make that kind of money. And that's how they get you. That's how it works. Like, we don't make enough, okay? And creatives have to charge that amount because of the labor that goes into it. And I'm not about to tell them to charge less because their labor is worth that money, right? So again, like, when we work on stuff, when we have a relationship with the work, we have to decide why we're doing it. I think art is for the consumer. I think art is about how the consumer feels about it. And you can make your decision on how you want to engage in that art. Again, there's ideal, there's realistic, and there's also just like what you can do with it. Like, you ever see a house that's all Totoro or Miyazaki stuff, but it's not even things they've collected because they organically love it. They just buy all of it overnight on Amazon and get it shipped over to create an aesthetic. Okay, it's like the people who have keychains, but they're not even organic keychains. They're just like mass bought. Does it really matter? Like, out of all the issues in the universe, like, do I really care if you're authentically collecting keychains to put on your keychain? Or do I care if you bought them all overnight? I don't know. I don't care. You know what I care about? Famine, rape, genocide. You know what I care about? Like, police systems, corruption with ICE, kidnapping people off streets. Like, I do not care. The issue is that right now, I only have so many spoons. You only have so many spoons. What are we putting our energy into? And a part of me feels like we should be going, again, not getting distracted with the AI, but going for the top and how they use their power and how they're going to use this AI possibly against us, right? Or possibly against each other. That's what you should be concerned about. I'm not concerned about the teenagers who are making Goku compilations. I'm concerned about the adults who are going to use it to throw people in prison, which, by the way, was an issue before AI. The issue isn't the AI. The issue is the people using any excuse to throw people and kidnap people and throw them in prison. Right? And this is the dilemma. Now, obviously, the economy is an issue and everything's an issue. But again, I can't think micro. It doesn't work. I don't think everyone else is doing it and it hasn't worked. Literally thousands and thousands and thousands of years of human like evolution or societal evolution. And we're still fighting the same issues. Okay? The elites versus the poor. And we're still having issues with basic stuff, groceries, housing, feeling like we can live out our life, having enough vacation time. It feels like we have to suggest something else. And I know this might make people angry, but like, you're already angry. So can we come up with a different solution, please? And it can't be something violent, and it has to be something sustainable, and it has to be something honest. And I think the honesty is that we're the problem. And the question is, how do you stop being the problem? You don't stop being the problem by trying to be a good person. That's what the world is already doing. The road to hell is paved in good intentions. You have to start by being a little less bad every day. And so you have to pick and choose. How do I be bad a little bit every day? How do I do a little less bad? Okay. And I just think people are a little too, like, they're approaching it with just like a lot of fear and anxiety, which I understand, but that's not going to work for my brain. Because I think fear is the root of all evil. I need to be not afraid. I need to be like intentional and thoughtful and compassionate and kind and like reasonable, right? I have to be a little bit logical here. So how do we make this work for us? And how do we also pay attention to how this could harm us? So one of the recent, you could call it a victim, but honestly, I bet it's boosted his presence on the internet. One of the recent targets of AI Sora has been this beauty right here, this little nugget right here.
Honestly, I just...
So Jake, what is your dream in life?
My dream? Honestly, I just want to...
Wait, hold up. I didn't order a Yappuccino. Just put the fries in the bag.
Oh, God.
Taken a shower in 5 years. I gotta tell you something that's been eating me alive. I haven't taken a shower in 5 years. 5 years, man. I know how that sounds. And the weirdest part, I love it. I love how I smell. I love being dirty. It's like this cloud.
Oh, my God, bro.
Morning, besties. Welcome back to the Cozy Corner. Yeah, your boys in hearts today. Don't get it twisted. We're doing a little glow up. First things first, moisturize. Tap, tap, tap. Get that championship level hydration. How we lay the foundation. Boom, boom.
So corny. Maybe the sunset's insane right now.
Yeah, but you're what's making it perfect.
You're so corny.
Maybe, but it's true.
I like when it's quiet like this.
Me too. Feels like the whole pier disappears.
Just us then.
I'm sorry, you're never. Man, that's funny. Oh shit. I love XQC and Jake being targeted. I'm not gonna play. Here's XQC watching himself.
With breaking news.
So the real XQC is on top and the fake XQC is in the bottom. Okay.
Authorities say $100 billion has been stolen in what investigators call the largest heist in U.S. history. Federal agents have identified. Again, with breaking news, authorities say $100 billion.
Chat, that actually looks really good, no?
Federal.
Have a seat right there. Do you know why I'm here?
I mean, not really. This is weird.
I'm with a show that investigates adults who try to meet minors. These are the messages you.
Jesus! Got it. Jesus! Hello! These are crazy!
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get why people are concerned. You should be concerned. They're about to catch you doing a crime you didn't do.
First thing, a lightweight foundation. I just pump a little on the back of my hand, load up a brush, tap it right onto the skin, bounce it in with a sponge so it melts down and looks like my face, but smoother. A little powder to lock everything in, especially through the T-zone, and a swipe of highlight.
In 3, 2, 1. I'm gay. I hope every here supports me. Here's my makeup set. Look at this. Oh my gosh, guys, it looks amazing. Look.
Woo! Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I had a field day with these. I really enjoyed watching all these videos. Also, his girlfriend made a little video, like, you know, making a meme of it, which I appreciate the humor, because, like, girl, this one's the worst, though.
It smells terrible. I'm in the tank. This is hands down the grossest thing I've ever done. I'm up to my shoulders. It's warm. It smells terrible. And there's toilet paper doing laps around me. I'm in the tank right now. Up to my shoulders.
This is disgusting, but it's gonna be worth it. Shh.
Boo! Bro, what the? Oh, man. Totally worth it.
Damn, that looked real. I was like, is he in poop water right now? Okay, so okay, hold on. Wait.
Glam. First, all right, I'm going to show you how to do the perfect everyday glam. First step, blush. Just grab a ton of it,
That's not
swirl it
blush.
around, boom, right on there. If your face doesn't look like you just ran a marathon in the desert, you're not doing it right.
I mean, honestly, though, okay, hold on. One more, and then we'll get a little bit more serious with it. Hold on, I saved this one earlier. Here we go. Hold on. Hello?
But like, can we talk about these nails for a second? Hello, look at her. She is pastel, she is glossy, she is living her best life. We got pink, lavender, a little baby blue moment, some mint, touch of sunshine, and the glitter. Stop it, I'm obsessed. They're giving main character energy.
Okay. Listen, okay. Discord says, honestly, I can see celebrities softly relaunching their careers by putting AI of themselves out to the public and seeing if people like it. I could see it too. You know what I'm you know? Oh man. Like, it is pretty funny. You know? Wait, the funny thing is that to join the Sora app, you got to give them a face scan of yourself. No. Wait, does that mean that if the product is free, then you're the product? That's true. Wait, that's from a movie. But wait, okay, hold on. Are you saying Jake submitted his own face? Because I think, here, we're going to watch this video together. Here, let's watch this together. This is news. This is Business Insider.
Katie? Or am I the real Katie? Am I the real Katie? Or am I the real Katie? Freaky, right? Hi, I'm Katie Notopoulos, and I'm not AI. I've been playing around with this new tool called Sora 2, which is this new video generating app from OpenAI. For example, I made a video of myself winning the Nobel Peace Prize for blogging, which doesn't exist yet, but I'm holding hope. You can also find your friends on there and make videos of them, or you and your friend together, which is honestly really, really fun. So this opens up a lot of obvious questions about if it could create harm. For example, I made a video of myself getting arrested.
It's not what it looks like.
We'll talk about it downtown. Keep moving.
This is a mistake.
Watch your head.
I didn't hurt anybody,
Doors
okay?
coming.
What if I made it of somebody else doing something terrible? I made a bunch of videos of my colleagues saying really...
Now, I just want to say something, and I believe this about every form of art, and I've believed this for most of my life. So I'm open to budging on it, but I've always believed this. And I think it sounds conservative, but it's not. You know how conservatives say the market dictates what people want? Like, people dictate it. It's not, you can't blame business. It's people's fault. I hold business responsible for even offering the product in a way, but I do hold people accountable as well. You're not exempt, you little fuckers. I know you want to be, but you're not. You can't be. Just like your parents can't be, and your homophobic brothers can't be, and your pedophile uncles can't be. Okay? Either we're all accountable or none of us are accountable. And I would rather all of us be accountable. Okay? Now, The accountability looks different because obviously we're trying to make the world a better place. Fingers crossed before we die. If you as a consumer would rather watch AI Britney stream than me stream, genuinely, it is what it is. I do not care. I am here for 70 years and I'll die. But I do think, and this is what I actually believe, that you will never pick AI Britney over me. I am convinced that AI Britney would never be better than me. That the access to a real person with real feelings and real reactions will always beat a robot's. That doesn't mean some of us on the planet really prefer talking to AI and robots. And that's for a lot of reasons that some of you don't even want to contend with. Good, bad, reality, what are you going to do, okay? And we have to acknowledge that, you know, there are always going to be parts of the population that, how do I say this? No, scratch that idea. Hold on. I really believe the real artist is always better. Okay? I believe this. But I can't control what people decide to engage with. I just don't think a majority of people will ever choose AI over people. Because they're not really doing it now, right? Like most people, why do people like streamers? Why did people think streaming was so stupid? Because people say, like, who has time to watch a streamer all day? Okay, but you have time to watch TV all day and you listen to the radio all day, but you can't watch a streamer all day. It's like, at the end of the day, I know there's always going to be an audience for people who watch streamers because they're trying to get access to a real person in real time with no edits. Well, here you go, baby. Me trying to say a sentence and fumbling my words and restarting. That's a stream, baby. Right? Okay. No clanker comments in my chat. Thank you. I really think white people are using that as an excuse to be racist. I'm so sick of seeing it. No clanker words in my chat. Thank you. So I'll block you right away if I see it. If I see that word, I'm just going to block you. Okay. But I that's what I believe. And so because I believe I'll never be replaced by AI, I also am confident as a creative, but I also acknowledge that if I am replaced by AI, it was always the road of a creative. Guys, most creatives die poor. I don't know why we thought this was going to change, right? All of us, most artists throughout time have always died poor, have always struggled to make a living. That's why parents don't want their kids to be artists. So I don't know why we thought AI would replace us now. It was, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't, the logic doesn't follow suit. It's like a denial of history or something, or human nature. I'm not sure which. Okay, let's finish this.
Really embarrassing things like,
okay, I'm just going to say it. I never put the shopping cart back.
Every article with my name on it the last couple of months, I didn't write a single one.
they looked really realistic. And of course, those things aren't true. I found Sora 2 really fun to use, but I also do have a lot of concerns about humanity. And if you don't want anyone making videos with your likeness, which probably you shouldn't, you can change that in the settings so that only your approved friends can do it or only yourself. Right now, one of the only people who has it set so that anyone can make videos of them is OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. So right now on the app, there are just tons and tons of videos of Sam Altman doing like wacky and ridiculous things.
For the record, Business Insider is my favorite news outlet. Everyone there should get a raise.
Like, did you guys never use programs on your computer when you were younger to put your face on a body? Like, did you never make videos on Snapchat to send to your siblings of like you guys being pasted onto something? AI obviously is that, but like to a scary degree. And what you're afraid of is exactly what you know of people, that in the wrong hands, this will be used for horrible things, right? That's what you're afraid of. But you see how AI isn't really the thing you're afraid of. You're afraid of people. People are the problem, and people have always been the problem, and it will always be people. 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 What are we going to do about it if it's always people? We raise better kids, maybe? We start talking about it in schools? The adults follow through? You know? What are you going to do about it? How are we going to change our method of approaching these topics in a way that actually makes a difference? And can we? Do we even have the power to do anything about this? All right? Casey Neistat is back with a video. I'm not a big Casey fan, but I thought it'd be interesting to get his thoughts on this. And so here we go.
Not pointing a camera at anyone. Sora will grab B-roll while we drive.
traffic and you're supposed to be driving, not training an AI.
It just makes video. I'm not pointing a camera at anyone. Sora will grab B-roll while we drive. Why not? It runs fine on my phone.
Is that crazy?
OpenAI, that is the ChatGPT people, they made a TikTok clone where every video is AI.
Booting Sora right now, are you? Why not? It runs.
Introducing iPhone Micro, the most compact.
You know that Sora has this feature where
There's a secret.
But the AI videos are all with real people. My analysis, we are so completely fucked.
Step away from the trunk for me.
So why are we fucked more with AI than any other problem we ever faced? What is so, why, like, again, I'm a philosophy channel. We do philosophy through pop culture. We're trying to understand our life by using other people's as an example. But genuinely, tell me right now, why are you more afraid of AI than any other fucking problem we had before this? Because I'm telling you this right now, to me, it feels very interesting that this is the thing. Now, maybe this is the first time you've had to face an issue like this, right? Maybe that's what's scary. Okay, Chad said, because we're no longer the higher consciousness species on the planet. I mean, if you believe in God, you never were. You know what I mean? Right? And also, are we? Do we, like, I don't know if I believe in that idea of like caring if we're not. Even though we were the highest concept of a highest thinking consciousness species on the planet, we still fucked up. Look at us. So who cares? This is the world we created with that knowledge, right? Like, why is AI scarier than every other tragedy in history that have ever been created without this? Before there were phones, before there was electricity, before there was anything like this, before there were computers. Why does AI scare you? You know, Chet says AI feels scary to me. It's a lot of change at once. Interesting. Because to me, AI has been 20 years in the making, and that's probably because my dad's an engineer, and my dad has been talking about this for my whole life almost. Like, for the last 20 years, my dad has been talking about this. So I feel like, oh, finally, we did it. I've been waiting for 20 years. At least we've been talking about this as a family. My dad is like all into the latest tech stuff. Like, his house is smart, the Oculus, like, you know what I mean? Like, AI, this to me, it's been happening for 20 years. And it's finally just getting off the ground in a way that's like a little bit more tangible. But for some people, it might be the first time they ever heard about it or they ever thought it was coming. But maybe that's also because I've been editing and working with computers. I mean, my dad, you know, got me into computers as a young kid. So I've been working with like websites and technology for a really long time. And I'm not even that smart. I'm like very stupid. But I think it just feels like it's 20 years in the making. So to me, it doesn't feel that big of a deal. But I can understand why this might be new to some people, which is so fair. Okay. Chaz says, because AI could damage the lives of anyone, it's not just a them problem. No, for sure, right? But they didn't need it before to arrest you illegally. They didn't need it before to kill you in the streets. They didn't need it before, right? You should be concerned that AI is going to be used to throw you in prison. But isn't it funny how they didn't need it before? It's just another excuse. In the same problem, it just looks different. It's not AI. AI is nothing more than a distraction from a problem that existed before the internet, right? All of these problems, everything you're worried about, that's why I don't believe this narrative that people say like, oh, dating apps and the internet is ruining our dating lives. Your dating lives were already ruined. I don't know why you thought you had a good dating life when all of the boomers got divorced and all of these Gen Xers are so unhappy and racism was always a problem and homophobia and transphobia were always a problem. I don't know why you thought the phone was ever actually the issue when it was always us and how we use technology. Again, I don't buy into any of these narratives. I think these narratives are a distraction. I think it's shallow thinking, bad data, and bad conclusions. Women have had to fight for their agency, their marriages since forever. And the first time in history we had some level of, independence, men now blame all of the relationship problems on the fact that we have jobs. Once again, women being blamed for the issues men created. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really think this is AI. I think the issue is that we don't want to acknowledge that we're not that great, Chet said, I think you're getting married to the idea that AI is just another technology, so humans are the problem. It's not. The new AI has are Pandora's box. Pandora's box isn't real. Pandora's box and the myth of Pandora's box is a fear created in humans to make you not responsible for your actions. There's no Pandora's box. There's no demons that are going to come out of it. You are the demon. You are inside Pandora's box. Pandora's box is opening up and seeing your own reflection. There is no Pandora's box. There's only a mirror. Okay? You keep looking in the mirror and seeing something else. I look in the mirror and see myself. Because we are the problem. Okay? Like, that's the dilemma. Now, is it going to get bad? Sure, but when has it never gotten bad? You are so privileged. We are so privileged that we think this is the worst time in history. As if our ancestors haven't suffered so much harder than this. As if people around the globe aren't suffering so hard right now. Okay? So if you want the world to be less bad, then you have to start with yourself. And you have to ask yourself, why do I vote for the people I vote for? Why do I support the systems I support? Why am I susceptible to all the new things they push towards me? Why do I overconsume? Why am I gluttonous? Why aren't I paying attention? And why can't I accept that humans are flawed? Like, it's going to get bad. I'm not saying it's going to be, for the next 20 years, life's going to be really hard because humans make it hard. It's going to be very hard and it's going to go in cycles because people make it hard. And look what happens, okay? When people can't pay their bills, they go after people's civil rights. Look at the way conservatives are so eager to take away people's civil rights, right? And support these big billion-dollar companies as if that's the reason you don't have rent. Men are willing to go after women's rights and talk about them not voting because they can't get wives. Oh yeah, like that's the problem, right? Thank you, chat. Says, I will never forget one time Brittany said, some people experience 9/11 every day, and that made me realize we are privileged 100%. For the next 20 years, life will be very hard because we will make it hard. Like we continue to make it hard right now. We are so good at making life very hard for ourselves and hard for our neighbors and hard for people. How many videos am I going to watch of people getting kidnapped by plain clothed alleged cops or ICE agents? And you go to bed and you think you're a good person. How many men wake up every day and go home to their wives and kiss their kids goodnight, are also waking up and taking someone else's dad off the streets and regular clothes and a minivan, and then you want to go to bed thinking you're a good person? We make our life so hard for each other, huh? How many videos I got to watch, bro? And then you sit here and you're like, I'm worried about AI. I'm worried about your husband. Okay? Your husband who's a hardworking man just doing his job. Well, okay. What about that dad who's doing his job? Guess he doesn't matter, huh? So you have to be so real right now with yourself that the problem isn't just these companies, though that is a problem. It's also your father and your brother and your parents and your mother who protects your brother who's a predator and your local priest and your local guy who works at McDonald's. And the same people who, you know, just monologue all day about how they're good people and then go home and beat their kids and call it discipline. The same people that have absolutely no money in their account, making babies, buying the latest iPhone. The same rich people that talk about how life is so hard with $30,000 a month. Okay? The issue isn't an AI. The issue is you. It's us. It's us. Okay, back to the video.
What do you got in the bag?
Tom, drop the plaques!
They're mine! Put them down right now!
Come on, man, I was just borrowing
My
them!
husband, he made those! You can't do that!
This place just goes on forever.
So it looks and it feels like TikTok, but all of the content is pure AI slop. This is slop, and this is AI slop. Just an endless dribble of computer-generated nonsense that no one cares about. But here's what makes the slop different and maybe...
See, that's disingenuous. Nobody cares about. Are you sure about that? Why do you say it like that? This is the same thing people said about like auto-tune. Remember when they brought in auto-tune? Everyone's like, this isn't real music. I can't believe people are using auto-tune. Remember when you found out T-Pain could really sing? Dun, 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 dun. Let me buy you a drink. You know what I mean? You remember when T-Pain, you learned he could really sing? This is the same thing people always say. I don't care about this. I don't care about this AI slop. Are you sure about that? Because it's doing numbers. You sure about that? Because your boomer mom fucking asking if this is a real dog who can talk. You know what I mean?
more terrifying on the Sora app. When you first log into the app, you scan your face in like you do on an iPhone for face.
Chad said I still don't like auto-tune. I fucking love that shit, bro. I eat auto-tune for breakfast. I like all of it. I like creative things that come from people, and I do think people are creative with AI. I don't think all AI is creative. Like, I don't think all music is creative. I don't think all art is creative. I think some people are artists making something worth consuming, and some people are making bullshit. And it comes in the form of a painting, it comes in the form of a craft, it comes in the form of dance. Ever seen a bad dancer? Ever see a bad dancer? Okay, it's still their art, but I don't want to consume it. Okay, I like it when it hits me as the consumer. But I feel like we got to separate our boomerness, being like, I don't like AI, I like real artists. Okay, grandma. And the difference between like, I'm really actually afraid for the implications of what this is. Right?
Face ID. Then you can actually put yourself in the slop. Casey as a 1970s F1 driver winning a race.
Oh, and for the record, I haven't done this, and I don't plan to. So that's the irony. You're probably sitting here thinking Brittany's defending AI so bad. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to download Sora, and I'm not going to use it. So you might be wondering, like, why do you care so much? I care about the premise that you are more afraid of this thing that humans created than the fact that you should be worried about the humans. I literally have no interest in using this, and I'm not going to use it. Okay? I mean, I'm not going to not use it. I assume you have to download it, right? I'm assuming it's not like, you know how like when you Google now, AI shows up? Like, I don't care that that exists. But like, I'm actually not interested in the app. You know what I mean? I don't care about Sora. But that's the point. Casey is sitting here showing us this app and how bad it is by using it. He is literally using it right in front of me. I'm not going to use it. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. Why are you getting so mad enough to use the product? That's what they want. Like, I don't understand how easily you play into it and then talk about, you know what I mean? It's like, just don't use it.
Can't believe it. We actually pulled it off.
Winner of the Grand Prix, everyone!
But wait, there's more. I can tag my friends in my slop, and I can make slop of my friends or my friends and me or whoever. Casey chooses Colin in the Bachelor dating game.
From the first day we met, I knew there was something different about you. Tonight, after everything we've shared, my heart's telling me where it belongs. I want you in my life. Will you accept this rose? Are you serious? From the first day we met, I knew there was something different
Look, I chose you in the Bachelor.
I love this. My heart's telling me where it belongs. I want you in my life. Will you accept this rose?
How much time are you guys spending on the Sora app?
Too much. It's all I want to do.
So next, who's mostly the culprit? Who's to say? Probably a lot of boys, because boys really like things over people. That's a big, big stereotype. And girls, women traditionally spend a lot of time doing, people things, but that's also because of how we're raised, right? Like, even my partner the other day asked me about, like, some tech YouTubers, like, and science YouTubers, like Hank Green and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't really watch them all that much. Like, they don't talk about people enough. And my partner's like, yeah, like, my partner's feeds are all, like, tech and stuff like that. And my feed is, like, not. Like, even for my own system, like, my partner helps me with the tech stuff. I care about people. I want to solve human problems, right? The dilemma with people... And my partner isn't one of them, just giving a generalization of us born into a biological construct. Okay, the reality is that if you are interested in things over people, I think that's a big problem. I think if you are scared of things because of people, I think that's also a problem. Because people are still going to be an issue without things, right? Like, I think there's like a deep misunderstanding that people aren't the problem, which is, again, a distraction to the things. Like, it's like guns. Like, guns actually don't shoot people. You know that, right? Right? People shoot people. But because people are so stupid, we have to regulate things. Because you're not smart enough and you think you are. That's the dilemma. All these conservatives are so afraid. They're like, you think the government's smarter than you? No, I think the government's smarter than you. Because you were too stupid to get vaccinated and wear a mask. No, I don't think the government's smarter than me. I think some people in the government are smarter than me, but I think the government's smarter than you. Because you don't even know what not to give your kid a gun for his 15th birthday that he then used to go shoot up a school. Hello?
You don't think that, like, the AI slopness of it can get boring?
I think it's going to get better.
Yeah.
But you don't think people are going to get sick of the fact that it's AI?
No. because it's yourself. You're inserting yourself into anything. Like it's me being able to do everything I've wanted since I was a kid.
Oh, man. What does it say for the future?
See, it's making it able for me to do everything I've wanted since I was a kid. I understand that feeling. I do. As like a person who really loves art and creativeness, like I understand that feeling of being like, I really want this image to come to life, but I don't have the talent. So let me create this computer program to do it. Right? Okay. Chad says we have auto turrets now. Soldiers' morals can be removed from the situation. Well, God knows they don't have very many to begin with. I mean, I think all of this, you know, I always said like the leaders who send your boys to war to die should be on the front lines with them, but they won't be, right? And now, and this is why people are so critical of Barack Obama, because he killed a lot of people with a button, right? Like we're critical of drone deaths, killing people with drones, killing people over a computer screen, pressing a button and seeing people on a screen like they're dots instead of people with a whole life. The problem is us. We are the problem. We are the problem, you know? And so again, I'm not worried about the kid in his room who's trying to make a cool video game for him and his buds to play with. I'm concerned about the grown adults in positions of power who are going to use it to falsely imprison you and me or kill other people, which they're already doing anyways. Okay? That's the issue. I saw a video the other day of like two men going down to a coal mine to like, you know, and they kept saying, where are all the women who want to do this job? Hey, stupid, nobody should be doing this job. That's the problem with men under patriarchy. You have conditioned yourself to literally convince yourself you have to do these jobs. Hey, how about we just have a different world without needing to put people in these positions? You would rather enslave small boys to do your cobalt batteries than to live without them. And I'm saying, or figure out a different way. You don't care about men's lives. You don't care about men's sanctity. You don't care about their dignity. You care about your next, like, whatever you want. And I'm saying I would rather live in a world, okay, where we look at different options. And we have to do it together, y'all. That's the problem. We're the problem because I can't do it alone. We all have to do it, right? But they're not going to do it. And you are not going to do it. And the majority is not going to do it. The majority has always been the problem for all of history. It's not the minorities. The minorities are always people left out who see the problems, who are trying to call out the problems. The majority is always the problem. And the majority of people are not interested in being better. They like the way the world is, even though they complain about it all the time. Okay? Yes, we're in a group project and we're going to fail together, whether some of us are pulling our weight or not. So the question is, how do you adapt as a person on the outskirts who feels like you can't get off this train? You recognize you are part of the universe. You never had the choice in the first place, and you can only do your best. You harm reduce every day to the best of your ability. Okay? And calling for regulation is a good step forward. We need regulation with AI, 100%. We need it with everything. Why do we need regulation? Because of humans. Humans.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
So there are some obvious concerns like, you know, bullying, if kids use this to make videos of their friends.
And by the way, Casey Neistat is a good example of why you never needed AI to create slop. How many bullshit YouTube channels tried to copy Casey, like, frame for frame just to copy his style because they couldn't be creative on their own? And how many people just became like copycat channels? Mr. Beast has the same problem. Casey has a problem because they see what works. They see what a majority of people like and they copy it because that's the best way to jump on a train. So I don't need AI. You know, AI isn't a threat to artists. You're like, people aren't that interested. They don't care, dude. They don't care. That's why you're so lucky to make it as an artist, because most people don't give a fuck. They just want the thing. They just want to feel a certain way. They just want to have an experience. And it's like, it's similar to this cope people have with like watching Miyazaki videos where like people want to like, oh, I want to do my own laundry and grow my own vegetables. Our ancestors already tried that. It's fucking hard. That's why we stopped doing it. Your obsession of wanting to like, I want to have my own garden and my own homestead. Most homestead YouTubers I watch always say to you, like the ones who are successful always say like, with peace and love, most of you will fail. 99% of you will actually just want to do this because you think it's an escape from the city life. And 2 years into this, you will go back to that city life. Because you know what? It's not an escape for you. It's like the guys who make their food out there by the lake and they're like got a tent and they're out in the forest and they're building their own forts out of snow. And everyone's like, I wish this was my life. No, you do not. No, you do not, girl. Stop coping and start living a good life. Okay. When I got to Croatia, My partner didn't have a dryer. A lot of Croatians hang their clothes. And then we moved into this apartment and they came with a dryer. And I was like, oh, thank the fucking Lord. Nothing I like less than hung dried clothes. It just doesn't fit the same. I don't like it. And so like even something as simple as that, I was like, give me a dryer, girl. Listen, I will be grateful for anything, right? A humble bitch I am. But also give me a dryer if possible. Is it an option? I would love one. Thank you so much. I am very grateful for this dryer. Okay. So again, you can have your romanticism around like, oh, I want to like have my own carrots and I want to kill my own animals. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Friends without their consent, they misrepresent their friends. You have people saying things they otherwise maybe wouldn't say. And when my wife first got the app, she typed in, what would it look like if I got Botox?
Right, tiny poke right here.
Mhm.
A little bit of Botox going in.
Not bad at all.
Look how big that needle is. Tiny needle, quick pinch. Little pressure here, a little nervous but excited.
Now, she's a grown adult, so that's not that big of a deal. But when I think like, what if... Oh, sorry. But what would it look like if my 10-year-old daughter started asking the app to make videos of herself getting Botox? I mean, at minimum, that would freak her out. Do you have like a funnel, like a kitchen funnel? In the back, left side, okay, thank you. You don't have like a huge funnel, do you? Alright. But as a filmmaker or YouTuber, storyteller, I have like maybe less obvious concerns about this app. As a filmmaker, it calls into question like... So a funnel, the top part, the big part, is the total amount of content being made. And the bottom part, the little part, is the amount of good content being made. From the dawn of cinema until like 1980, it was really hard to make content. Think making pictures is easy? Back in the 30s, it was a grind. You needed the idea, an education, you needed money, you needed gear. These cameras weighed 100 pounds and hummed like jet engines. Filmmaking expertise, you needed actors or subjects, you needed a film crew, and you needed some way to distribute it. How did that movie ever get into theaters? Wow. Because of all that, the amount of content being made was small. A lot of really important movies were made then. And the amount of good content being made was much smaller. These kinds of movies rarely got made. Wow. Then in the 80s, everybody had cable and a lot more stuff was being made, but the amount of good stuff being made, still small. Then in the mid-2000s, a cataclysmic shift.
The video sharing website YouTube was invented and launched this very day.
YouTube meant not needing a ton of money, no film school. Most importantly, you didn't need distribution. All it takes is a single click. Watch. No crew, no expertise. You only needed an idea, something to record it on, and usually some people to help.
Ow! Charlie, that really hurt!
Then you throw TikTok in and you barely need anything to create. The top of the funnel got huge, but the quality of the content... Removing these friction points from filmmaking or content creation, it makes self-expression available to everyone.
I will just say, like, you know how people make fun of TikTokers for dancing? Some of those TikTokers are really good and worth watching. And some of them, I'm just like, I don't get this. But see how that's what art is. Art is living in an onion, okay? Some good art is funded by big companies. Some good art is made in your mother's basement. Some good dancers exist on TikTok and some good dancers exist in dance studios. Like, the good though, playing, like, all of us are arguing about, like, is this good art? Is this bad art? It's just art. And then you decide, does it make you feel something? Is it good to you? Do you like it? It's not about convincing other people it's good art. There's a snobbery that's being played into this like normal, right? Oh, this is slop. This isn't good. What I call slop, you might call slop. Like you might not call slop. Well, you know what I mean? And I think that's the issue. And so again, I ask you, like, is your problem AI or is your problem the same cycle with humanity we've had forever? That you're upset certain people aren't getting highlighted, or you're upset that the system works the way it is, or you're mad that you have to go get a job because you can't be an artist. Like, even as a YouTuber, again, I pull 12-hour days every day just to make like a middle-class income, and not even a high middle-class income. Okay, girls, just like a normal middle-class income. You know what I mean? Like not 6 figures or anything crazy. Okay, just 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. That's my schedule just to do this full time. And before that, I was working 2 to 3 jobs and trying to make YouTube work for me. I was never a Casey Neistat. I didn't sell my app for $32 million or whatever he sold his app for. You know what I mean? I don't have that. That's not me as a creative, right? And you might say, well, that's because Casey made really great content and Britney doesn't make good content. Maybe, but then isn't that just the market speaking? You decided Casey Neistat would be worth $32 million and you decided Britney would be worth less. And then what if I did make $32 million? Well, that'd be kind of shitty. What do I need $32 million for? I don't need that much money. So then it'd be like, oh, Britney's rich. Yeah, like what's the benefit of that? I don't need to make $32 million. I like the money I make. I just want to hopefully make it forever, you know? But that's the thing is like, what does it mean to see? It's like we love to root for a small artist. And then when the artist gets big, we hate them because now they have too much money. Now they're gross and gluttonous, right? It's like, I think we're confused. I think we're confused about why we're angry. I think we're confused about the world we live in. I think we're too attached to things. You know, this is a philosophy channel, so I'm trying to get you to let go of your fear around AI and focus in on what matters. People are the problem. The technology is the symptom of our problems. And it also is a perk of our brains. We're amazing as a species, as an animal species. The fact that we built this and I can talk to you is a blessing. And I thank the universe every day that I was born now in this time and I get to talk to you. Okay? It's going to be really rough the next couple of decades. The Trump administration, the world, the way that it's impacted globally because of America, it's going to be hard. But the problem isn't just in America, it's everywhere. And it's not just AI or technology, it's us. It's what we support, it's what we uphold, it's what we continue. We have to break that generational curse, that trauma, that like we have to shift history, but we have to do it by also accepting what we are. And that's the hardest part, right?
I love that. But what happens when you remove the entire process? What happens when all you have to do is like type a couple words in from your bed in a dark room and click a button and it gives you a piece of video and then you share it and then you do that 1,000 times a day? If all you have to do today is type those words into an app and click a button and it gives you a TikTok video in one second, then like YouTube can't be far behind where you just type in the YouTube video you want to see, you push the button and boom.
Okay, quit your job for $100,000. Last person off the island keeps every seat on a plane giveaway. Host, come on, so good. Next one, build the biggest vending machine that gives away cars and...
How many years away from Netflix? You just type in like Jason Bourne moon landing and go. Generating. That's wild. What is the long term here? What does it look like when the funnel is so big?
Over the funnel, look at this thing. It looks like somebody dropped a giant stainless steel funnel.
I can't see! Slop all over us! There's so much just slop. And what does the bottom of the funnel become?
There's gold getting lost in slop.
Am I overthinking all this, or are we starting to turn a corner where...
Thank you to the Academy. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Slop. I love you, Slop.
Where slop starts to overwhelm or displace actual creativity.
Boo! It's bullshit. 99% of you are not creatives. A creative can't be replaced. AI will never replace me. And if you think it will replace you as a creative, I doubt you are one. Sorry. I think it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit, and it's always been bullshit. You either are a creative or you're not. A creative exists outside of everybody else. Because first and foremost, you must create. And if you're lucky, people consume it. But a creative doesn't require an audience. Even if you think it does, it doesn't. Okay? I was editing videos before YouTube even existed the moment I realized I could on my computer. I didn't even know YouTube was going to be a thing. But I loved having a camera. I remember when my dad got me my first digital camera. It was like $200, which is a big deal. And it took 60 full seconds for the picture to download, for it to take. So I take a picture of my friends in like middle school and it would take 60 whole seconds. Okay? When my dad had Polaroids, I used it. When my dad had old flip phone cell phones, I was like, can I have your cell phone? When my dad had even the dial, we had dial tone phones. Okay? I was like, can I have it? Like, I think I exist so much in my imagination. I exist in so much of like what is in my mind creativeness that I feel like whether the world enjoys it or not, like I just exist, right? Like I just exist. But whether or not you should be worried that humans will do what they always do, which is engage in like, okay, can I just say, what do you think popular culture is? Like, what do you think pop music is? It's popular. Popular, gonna be popular. It's popular. And people would say, oh my God, you like pop music? You're so lame. I like grunge. I like Nirvana. Who cares, bro? Just enjoy your oops, I did it again and move on. Let's be real. Some of y'all are snobs. More than you're concerned about the end of the world, you just don't want to be popular, or you don't want to like something that's popular. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, you get to decide. AI is no different than anything else. And the world destroying itself is no different than anyone else who did it before. You act like do you think you're so entitled to live in a period of time where we don't destroy ourselves and have to start again? Also, only our ancestors have to go through that when we haven't fundamentally changed the flaw in our species. You think we're not gonna? That's why I say you're having babies so casual in the world. You are, but it's like Attack on Titan. We all have babies knowing the cycle's going to happen again, because that's what humans do. We are an animal species. We're going to have these babies and destroy everything, and have these babies and rebuild and destroy everything and have these babies. And we're going to do the thing again and again and again and again and again and again. And I'm saying the only way to fundamentally change that is to change that pattern. And you cannot force a species to change a pattern, but you can encourage it, and over time it might happen. So everything you're doing now isn't for us here, it's for the people later on. It's not for the kids now, we're cooked. It's for the kids later. Okay? Chat says, Britt, do you have games on your phone? No. Little Brittany? I don't have games on my phone now, but when I was a kid, I played the fuck out of Snake. I played the fuck out of Solitaire. But I don't play games on my phone. The only thing I do is YouTube. Like, when I tell you I love YouTube, I love people and I love YouTube. Like, my video games are YouTube itself. Like, when I go on YouTube, I like lock in to I lock into people's worlds. I like Google video, like YouTube videos in German, and then I lock in and watch people in dub now. And now that AI is on YouTube, I can watch German YouTubers because they AI dub it now. So I can watch videos in German with an AI voice. And that's what I've been doing. You know? The language barrier is getting smaller. Now we're not going to have one. And I'm kind of excited about it, if I'm going to be honest. Okay, let's finish this video. It's almost done.
Behind me, you can probably see the banner. Mission accomplished. Under that, it says that Slop has emerged victorious over creativity, which I guess is what we were aiming for.
I hold the screen right in my hand, the moving picture stole your band, 1,000 pixels took your place.
Yeah, the whole "we are so completely cooked" says the guy who sold his app for millions of dollars. The app that was meant to force people to have a good conversation. See how bullshit it is? See how Casey's just full of bullshit? I'm Casey Neistat, and I really care about people connecting. So I made an app that I sold for millions of dollars so I wouldn't have to do it anymore. Okay. Okay. I'm a real creative, and everyone else is a fake creative. I'm just a real one. I'm the real guy. Okay. All right, bro. Sure. Okay. Who to sell it to? CNN or somebody? Whatever. Who cares? The point is like, come on, bro. Like, you don't care. You just want to care. And you know, people will get on your side. That's the thing. Again, I am never taking sides in these matters. I am pointing out what I'm observing. Okay? I'm not taking sides. I'm saying, oh yeah, we have huge problems, but they're bigger than AI, and they've always been. That doesn't mean AI shouldn't be regulated. We should absolutely be on top of AI regulation, but we should also be on top of everything else too. It's just one more thing. You know what I think of AI as? Imagine you're cleaning your room and it's just like piled up to the roof, and someone goes, Brittany, AI. I'm like, throw it on the pile. Throw it on the pile. I'm not saying it's not a problem, but throw it on the goddamn pile and move forward. Yes, I know. I promise you I know. And this is meant to keep me calm. This is how I stay calm. Y'all want to know how I manage to get up every day and just look forward to the future? Got it. One more thing. I'm not overwhelmed with the work. I'm overwhelmed with you freaking out. Stop freaking out. Brittany, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Shh. Go meditate. Put it on the pile. We'll get to it when we get to it. Meditate. Okay? Figure it out, but don't come yelling. Don't come freaking out. I don't like it. I don't know if it's my PDA or my autism, but when people freak out on me, I shut them out. Whether it's conservatives absolutely freaking out over trans people, it's like, I'm not listening to you. Or people freaking out about over AI. Guys, the more you yell, the less I listen. Okay? Because yelling never got us anywhere, and the fear certainly isn't going to either. Fear is the root of all evil. You can't make good decisions when you're afraid. I will try to make a good decision, okay, without needing to be afraid, right? Chet says we're philosophical janitors. Exactly. We're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're the people who come in after. Like, I feel like people want me to join in the argument. They want me to pick a side. I'm just here to clean up your mess. Because God knows you're both going to leave one. You could help, though, if you would like. You could stop making a mess and help us clean. Or you could just keep making a mess, I guess. Okay. All right. Any last thoughts on this? What do we think? Are you an INFJ? I think I'm an INTJ recently, right? You guys have to remember, what was my last Myers-Briggs test? I think it was an INTJ. Tubby's Beef, membership for 7 months since I'm behind it live, but you didn't know Casey Neistat and his wife did a couples therapy podcast that I'd be interested to see you review. Really? I always wondered if they get divorced. I'll write it on my notes. I'm not a big Casey Neistat fan, especially after he seemed to be anti-Palestine, but do you watch Peacemaker? No, I don't even know what that is. Isn't that a comic or something? Yeah, I don't watch that stuff. I'm not much of a comic book girly. I'm not much of a superhero girly. Podcast was asked. They barely get along. Yeah, I don't like to make bets against people's, relationships without, in negative. I try not to do that because I don't like it when people do it to me. I do try to pay attention, though, if I can understand the context and where people are headed. I might check it out. It's not like I like to get excited. I think most people settle in relationships. So I think it's one of those things. I mean, I'd love to see them stay together in the same way that I'd like to see everyone find their high compatibility partner. But I never felt like they were high compatibility, but I don't know. What do I know about people? Nothing. I don't know anything, really. Chad says, I feel like how rapid the development is becoming is what makes it so scary. Yeah. I can't think of AI being rapid. People keep showing that Will Smith video of him eating spaghetti. They're like, this is what it's like 2 years later. Guys, AI didn't start when Will Smith ate the spaghetti. Just like the genocide of Palestinians didn't start on October 7th. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone keeps thinking that the first time they saw something was when it began. All of this has been in the making for decades. This is the result. You're welcome. Chat says, what do you think about AI getting into sex work spaces? How ethical would that be? Yeah, I think obviously I'm against AI pornification of people's images. I think there should be severe consequences for AI creation of celebrities or real people in sexual positions or any sort of adult content. Like I think the most severe consequence that doesn't involve traditional imprisonment and or death needs to happen to people who do that. Let's see. I mean, I think there's huge ethical implications. Overall, there's huge ethical implications with AI. That's obvious, right? Yeah, it's so weird. We're like living in a world, right? I live in a bubble where my family would rather protect a child predator in the family than say anything nice about gay or trans people. So I feel like our problems are probably bigger than the AI. If any part of the population is existing in a world where they get to judge your skin color and your orientation as more of a threat than a man who touches children. Like, the problem is bigger than any of the toys we create. The problem is us. Okay? Like, the problem is us. And the question is, what are we going to do about it? And the thing I want you to stop doing is stop being afraid. If you can, free yourself from the attachment that you have any control over the way the world is going and do your best. Because if you live every day trying your absolute hardest and you wake up and realize like nothing is changing the way you thought it would, it was never going to. But it will change if you try. It just won't happen in your lifetime. You are not changing, the world as it is. You're changing the world as it will be. When I look at my family and I try to break a generational curse, I'm not doing it for me. I'm already grown. I'm doing it for the kids who don't exist yet. I'm doing it for the legacy of the family in a sense that so when little girls or little boys are born into my future family, little non-binary kids are born, they can look back and be like the legacy of Auntie Brittany, and then I'll die. My memory will die with those kids, or it'll live on with those kids, but it doesn't matter. The point is, just because you're the first person to come out in your family doesn't mean you're the first gay person in your family. And though I was the first person to come out in my family, I'm not the last or only one. New babies are born every day into my family, and some of those babies are going to be trans and gay. And that's my focus. Okay? And if that little trans or gay kid gets on the internet and makes an AI app where they get to imagine themselves as the gender they see themselves as, fuck it. I love AI. If that little trans kid wakes up and goes, Auntie Brittany, look, I put this into AI. That's what I want to look like. I go, okay, cool, kid. I'm glad technology exists so you get to see a future in which you get to feel more like yourself. Fuck yeah. Now, how do we make that a reality? How do I get you to feel fulfilled in your journey on Earth? Like, you know what I mean? So, there are obvious issues, but I think the issues stem from us as people. So again, regulation, very important, especially when it comes to adult content. Super important, right? Chad says there are always unseen consequences. No one knew cars would be as destructive as they were, or as they are until it was too late. What's the AI equivalent of that going to be? Well, yeah, I think, yeah, I think I imagine when they first, got the automobile going, it was going like 10 miles an hour or whatever, right? It was like probably super fucking slow. And now, God, I just saw the worst wreck on my TikTok ever. Car going super fast, didn't stop, slammed into this car, sends them both flying. Everyone dies, of course. And I'm just sitting here like, what is that? Like, I'm not worried about TikTok or telephones or cell phones. I'm worried about the fact that while you're making a left turn, you're on your phone. You know what I mean? I was driving. I haven't driven in a few years now that I live in Europe, but when I was in America, I was driving and this lady was turning, and she was like this. Girl, if you don't put down that phone, I will cut off your arm. Okay? Like, what are you doing? Like, she is literally turning and looking at her phone. It's not the phones, it's us. We are so inept as people. We are inept as a species. We are inept, and I have been one of them. I am sometimes one of them. I'm frequently one of them. But we are inept. You know what I mean? Like, we are the problem. And I'm not perfect. I can look back at my driving record, my history, my things I've done, and I can be like, ooh. But that's the point, is I'm not calling you out. I'm calling myself out. I'm calling all of us out. I just feel like sometimes people feel attacked, like, oh, you think you're better than me? No, girl, I'm as shitty as you are too. I'm just saying there are ways I've gotten better and there are ways you can get better too. You don't have to get better in the same way. But I know why we're acting like we're perfect. Like I said, guns don't kill people, people do, and too many people are killing people with guns. And we should fix that problem. So the problem isn't the gun, it's you. So now we have to regulate the gun because you won't get better. Because you won't do the work. Now I got to take your gun away. See, you want your guns? I want to give you your guns, but I can't trust you with your own gun because you can't be trusted. I would love to trust you with a weapon, but I can't. So you better do the work and I will give you your gun. See, but they won't. That's the point. Okay. Let's see. Discord said, I like what Elliot Sang said. Shout out to Elliot Sang. It was about something different, but he said, y'all are so busy freaking out about the potential future. It's already here, y'all. It's already here. So what are you going to do? Exactly. It's already here. Let's go, Elliot. Woo woo. It's already here. Let's fucking go. It's already here, girlies. Let's go. What are we going to do about it? And now I know people are waiting. They're like, when it gets really bad. Oh, when it gets really bad. It was already bad 1,000 years ago. We're here. We've always been here. We've been here since day one. What now? What now? What now? Shout out to Elliot saying, absolutely. Yeah. Discord said, I think if people want to support art, they will. Anytime I want something drawn, like I recently ordered sprites from her, I ask her because I like her art and want to support her. Same. When I want something really made by a person, I have artists I call and I'm like, hey bro, I need a commission done. are you available? And like I pay them and I put it in the budget. I talk to my partner. I say, hey, I need this custom art done. I'm gonna hire so and so to get it done, and we put it in the budget, right? But most of the time, right, we don't have the money for that, so that's why it has to go in the budget because it's not inexpensive. You know, there's an expense to it. But yeah, if I need stuff done now, if I need it done for something that isn't that important, like if I'm thinking of an image in my head and I want it done, or if I'm creating some form of art, like okay, I love like doing AI art. With the program I have, I use my editing software and it has a new AI feature. So I make the art and I like the images and I either use it for the background desktop of my computer or I make like little videos out of it that feel good. Cause like I really like to make videos, even videos you'll never see. I just make videos for fun. In my free time to relax, my hobby is making videos that I don't put on this channel. Yeah. I just like making videos. You know? I just like editing shit. Like, I just like creating. Even though it's time consuming as fuck. And sometimes I'm like, I didn't sign up to be an editor. I don't even consider it editing. Like, I don't consider myself an editor. Yeah, Chad said special interest much? Yeah. My partner laughed at me. They're like, your new hobby is you like another video? And I was like, yeah. My new hobby is more video. And I've been drawing. I've been drawing too. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, Brittany will be making AMVs. Actually, that might be my next hobby. You know what I'm saying? I got friends who do that. I have friends who just make like AMVs for fun. Yeah. It's a special interest. We get hooked into it. We put like hundreds of hours into the videos and it's fun. But where did we get that image? And where do we get the editing from? Like nothing we do is alone. It's not like we could have made those videos without the anime existing, or we could have made those videos without the music video existing, or we could have made those videos without the movie existing. To make our work, we still rely on other people creating something. So I don't care about the sharing. I like the sharing element. I like that idea of like, hey, I created this cool thing. You want to do something with it? Yeah, I got you. That's beautiful. So again, I think this idea that like, oh, I created it and I don't want to share. Okay. Sounds like a Republican to me. You know what I mean? Whatever. Okay, let's take a 2-minute break. I need to go grab Indiana. We have people coming to the house and she has to stay in this room so she doesn't run around. I'll be right back. Let me go get the queen. Let me go get the queen herself. I'll be right back. Elvin's music linked in the description. Okay. Coming up? No? Okay. Yes or no? Which one? Look at her. She can't make a decision. Which one? Where do you want to go? Come in. No. She teases. She's like, I want to, but I also don't want to. All right, sweet girl. All right. What? Which one? Which one? Come on. Come on. Come on. I know I see you. No? Okay. You know what she does? Okay, first I want to pause Elvin's music. She does this thing where she goes, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. And I go, okay. And then I get comfortable and then she tries to do it in the most awkward situation possible and then hits her head and like, I'm making it easy for you. You want to come up? Okay, decisions were made. I'm going to scoot in. And then watch, she's going to go under the desk and try to get in the worst, most uncomfortable way possible. I'm triggering her PDA. I am. She has cat PDA. Look at her. I can see her body. You know, when it looks like she's about to, you know? Anyways, she'll have to figure it out on her own. Okay. Do we have any last thoughts on the AI stuff? I want to reassure you guys. I know somebody asked me to make a podcast about AI and my thoughts on it. I don't want you to be burdened by AI, but I can't tell you things are going to get better. I think some people will benefit from it and some people are going to suffer, like with anything else. And I want you to feel reassured not to lose yourself to one more thing to be like, don't let it be the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back. Though you can't obviously like avoid that either. Like the reality is you never know what's going to be your thing to make you feel like you're crushing under the weight of the world, but you don't have to stay there, right? Chat said AI art is embarrassing to me. Yeah, but why do you hold that construct close to your heart? Like, why is it embarrassing to you? Right? Like, that's the question. I think every single person needs to, that's like, for me, AI art feels like people who use auto-tune to sing or mumble rappers. Some of the shit sounds good. Some of it doesn't. But like, you know what I mean? It just feels like all the same to me. AI art, mumble rap, auto-tune. Sometimes that shit slaps. You know? Maybe I'm just more open-minded or something. But it all feels the same in a way to me. I just don't see the difference. On the principle, like I don't see the difference. It's like Spotify rappers, how people are like, oh, you're a Spotify rapper, you're not a real rapper. Oh, you're a YouTuber, is that even a job? Oh, you make YouTube movies? Do you even make real movies? You know, it's like, I don't know. But you can have an opinion that it's slop. Keep in mind, you are allowed to think it sucks. I just don't think, you know, right? Chet says when you use auto-tune, you still have to write the lyrics and sing it physically and make the music around it. But do you? I mean, does it take that much? Like, again, okay, with AI, you still have to think of the prompt, go for the right image, get the right feeling, like create the atmosphere. I've seen some AI that I'm like, boo. And I've seen some AI that I'm like, oh, this is the AI I like. You know what I mean? It's like, to my brain, maybe it's just my brain. It is all the same to me. It's like food. Not all food is the same and some food is better than other food, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Chat says, totally disagree with auto-tune and art being equivalent. Are you guys being too autistic about the one-to-one? It's not one-to-one, but it's like the same. It's not like literally the same, but it's kind of the same. It's the same idea. Like all the arguments you're using against AI, I've heard for everything else. What is unique about AI that is truly different than anything else? You know what I mean? It's not like one-to-one. It's not like McDonald's and Sonic are the same. They're literally different. You know, but yeah, philosophically they are the same. Exactly, chat. Like don't be too literal with the thinking because they're quite literally different. But like they're not different yeah, they are literally different, but they're not different philosophically. Like, right? Are you guys, because it feels like I don't want to accidentally get us in a loop of being too literal here. Which I think happens when I say like we're the beaver building the dam. It's not a metaphor. It's actually more literal than that, right? Just as AI is different, I think SoundCloud Auto-Tune makes mumble rappers still have the history behind rap and hip hop. Do they? Right? Do they? Do they? Because I feel like a lot of hip hop and rap artists fucking hate them for a reason. Because they don't think they have it. They don't think they're connected to the culture. They think they're watering it down and making it less good. Right? Like, do they? Chat says it generates images based on images usually acquired without consent. Like, the art it was trained on many times has been found to not have been given consent. Okay, so then you don't disagree with the AI, you disagree with the consent issue. Like, you're not against sex, but you're against rape. Yeah, me too. I'm not against AI, but I'm against not getting the consent from the artists, right? But you're not against sex. You're just against rape, right? Okay, me too. But you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not, like, if AI was totally consensual and only used models from consenting people, then would there be a problem with it? Right? You know? Chet said maybe it's an inherent feeling of being lied to. Maybe if it was more presented upfront that it was AI, it would be more liked. That's not my issue, but I could see people thinking about it. Sure. Right? Chet said, I think there should be an objective disdain for AI just off the destruction of the climate alone from what the product is given, from what little product is given. Sure. I mean, the climate issues are huge. I personally would rather give up animal products to have AI. Right? Like, I would rather... Like, I am plant-based. I would rather we all just give up eating animals so we could use that resource for AI. Wouldn't that be better and easier? Like, again, when we talk about harm reduction, we're talking about we obviously by existing, we take resources. Like, all human beings require water, food, and sustenance. We ourselves are AI. We take up resources, right? So if we exchange the harm, that's how I do my life. I look at my life and I say, okay, I'm going to have to exist within harm. How do I harm reduce? But you can't eradicate harm. You can't take it completely away. So if I had to pick and choose for the whole planet, which I would rather have, if I have to have both forms of harm or either, I would rather we use AI than eat animals. You know? You know, Chat said give up both, me, all extra. Well, but why though? There's so many benefits to AI potentially. Like, there's so many more benefits to AI than to give it up. But if we gave it up, it would be replaced. Like, there has to be a harm. Now, you can want to live in a utopia type thing, which, by the way, the word utopia means it literally doesn't exist. Okay? So you could say like even if you're plant-based, you still hurt insects by by harvesting almonds. We're not going to give up eating almonds. Some harm has to occur. Right? Like, I don't know. Chet said, what benefits? Okay, hold on. Pause. I can't believe your brain doesn't really see any benefit. Like, are you saying that's like, okay. I'm trying to, as a content creator, I'm up against like 20 different bubbles and I'm trying to see like, where are you guys even coming from? Right? Like, that's like saying there are no benefits to art itself except it makes me feel good. Yeah, that's what AI is. It's a potential to use it to feel better. Right? Like, why paint? Why crochet? Why stack rocks up in a line? Do you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like you can't mean it that way, right? But art can be creative and personal, but so can AI. Like, guys, I don't know what you're using AI for, but I see AI being done. I even used it as an example earlier, and it was cool as fuck. Is that not a good use of AI? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Like, making a funny video of you and your family together to laugh about using AI, is that not funny? Is that not okay? You know what I mean? Like, you don't really mean it. right? Like, what about the fact that like I've been using AI to help me as a disabled person? Do you know what I mean? Like, what about disability? People with disability using AI? Like, can there not be anything useful for it? Like, can we really not think of things that are useful? You know what I mean? And if it's about harm reduction, it's like, how do I do the thing that's harm reducing? I don't know if we really mean that it's not, you know, now you might say it's not worth it. And then I'm okay. You know, we can have that conversation. But I don't, yeah, like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like, what about the fact that I'm now watching videos from different countries because the AI dub is working? Like, I would never have had that chance before, right? Isn't that okay? Is that a bad thing? Like, would you rather go back to before? What about subtitles, right? Like, do we not think that's like good? Isn't that cool? You know? Chat said, I understand what you're saying. It does have benefits, but for me, AI has been more harmful than helpful for my mental health. I mean, I'm sorry that it's working out that way for you, right? I just don't want to be like conservatives that are like, what's the point of porn? And what's the point of weed? What's the point of any of this? I don't know, dude, that we can, that it feels good, that it's not as bad as we think it is, but we're bad, so we use it badly, right? Like, that's the dilemma. Like, you know, Chet says, I don't use AI ever. You don't use Google? Google's using AI now. Do you not use Google? What do you use as your source? Do you know what I mean? Like, AI is a system. Maybe I'm being too, hold on, pause. I'm being too autistic. You know, AI is a tool. And I'm saying, so you turn it off. You're saying I turn off the AI feature. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my partner did the same. He turned off the feature, but I kept my feature. You know what I mean? Why? Okay. Chet said kids are using it to cheat. I think they are not developing the skills required to be adults. Oh my God, you sound like boomers. Oh my God. Can you, guys, please. Like, doesn't that sound like a boomer? Like, oh, these cell phones, oh, these kids with their glasses. Like, like kids are going to cheat if the system, it's culture. We create a culture that incentivizes cheating. Trump is president. Do you know what I mean? Like, Trump is president. Like, I don't know. Like, are you really mad about AI or are you just mad about people sucking? This just sounds like people suck. You know? It's like people suck. You know? Yeah. If you don't want your kids to cheat, we have to raise kids better. But like, you're acting like kids are given the right incentive to not cheat and like they've never cheated before. Kids were cheating when I was in high school. You know what I mean? Chad says AI is used in medical research. Well, AI is going to be used for a lot of things, right? I'm wondering why you're holding on so hard to this thing that's happening, by the way. You don't have a choice. It's happening. But like, why are you so worried about this thing that obviously has as many consequences as anything else? Why is AI unique? It's just as bad as anything else. Like, is it specifically worse to you? Because it's going to be used the same way anything else has been used. Right? Chet said on a scale right now, it's still more harmful. Black and brown communities are actively being harmed at this moment every time you use it. Once it's not as harmful and more regulated, I would agree. Well, yeah, of course, like obviously it's going to be, and I think for the next 20 years, life's going to be really hard. You know what I mean? So it needs to be regulated, right? But like before the world had AI, the world was a shitty place. It didn't get worse or better with AI. Like, I just feel like that's like saying the internet made the world a worse place. Do you think the internet made the world a worse place? Here's my barometer. Did the internet existing make the world a worse place? Do you believe that? Because if you believe that, you're going to think AI is going to make the world a worse place versus realizing it's not the internet, it's us. AI and the internet, same thing to my brain. It's literally the same thing. Because all of the world was a worse place without these things existing. If anything, my world got better. Like, the world got better, right? Just said, did the internet burn through electricity like AI? Well, if we're worried about the environmental factors, we should definitely focus on that. And we should be more careful. But like the world, okay, hold on. Oh my God. Hold on. I'm not frustrated with you guys. I don't know if you understand the scale of what we're talking about. Even though I feel like you think I don't understand the scale, I don't think you understand the scale. Because like the scale is beyond your control. You have no say in this. It's happening. What are you going to do about it? You have no say in this. In the same way you had no say about everything happening up until this point. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, are you arguing as if AI isn't happening? Are you having a conversation understanding it's not happening? Or it is happening? I don't understand what perspective you're coming from. Like, it's already here. It's not going to go away. Just like it's Amazon's, it's here. Okay? I don't shop at Amazon, but not because I think it will matter to Amazon. It's already here. You do know what I'm saying? It's happened. It's here. Okay, so what are you going to do now with it being where we are now? It's okay if you personally don't want to use AI. That's valid. In the same way, I personally don't use Amazon, but I'm not going to go for people who use Amazon because I don't think it matters. I only think it matters what I do. So the question is, I don't make prescriptions, okay? Are you saying, like, are you doing it because you think it matters? Are you doing it because it matters to you or matters to the world? Do you think it's just better, harm reducing? I'm trying to get your perspective. I don't disagree with you. AI is going to be hard. The world's going to get difficult. But the world's already difficult, right? Like, everything is very difficult. You know? Chet said generative AI generally is designed to distort our perception of reality in a way that studies have found harmful. That's why there's people calling it AI psychosis. Yeah, but okay. Let me process that. So let me process that. We know that's true of drugs and religion as well. We're still going to do them, right? Would you stop smoking weed just because some people get weed-induced psychosis? Like, are you still going to stop? Are you going to stop doing shrooms because it causes psychosis in some people? You know what I mean? Like, is it the psychosis we're afraid of? Or is it the fact that maybe I'm just more of a risk taker than other people as well. Like, I understand, like, I did a shroom trip so intense last time that I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to get trapped in the shroom. I don't want to get trapped in the shroom trip. I'm not going to probably do that many drugs anymore. But, like, it can't be the psychosis is the issue. Now, if we talk about harm reduction, like, I think, again, I don't believe in objective morality, so that's probably something I should say. But I do believe in harm reducing. So I believe in doing everything possible to make it, like I have standards for what I use AI for. Like, I also don't have an interest. You know, I don't have an actual interest. Like, I don't use, like, I know people use ChatGPT like they use Google. I don't use it like that ever. I never even think about it. One, because I found AI to be incredibly inaccurate. And also Google's inaccurate, but I'm better at shuffling through Google's bullshit. AI bullshit, I use somewhat, like I sometimes use it, but like, it's not as interesting to me yet, right? But I don't want to say that like I'll never use it. I'm just saying I see what you're seeing. I see the issues. I'm just not having the reaction you're having. So, okay, here's the question. Why are you seeing the issues and acting the way you're acting and I'm seeing the issues and I'm looking for a different problem solve? It's because I don't think you're going to solve the problem your way. I think there's only one way to solve the problem. And I don't think humans are going to do it anyways. So my whole thing is harm reducing. So I back your, so I don't want people to get confused. I support your decision of not using AI, right? I support this decision. I don't know how fleshed out your idea is yet of why you're actually doing it, because it sounds like it could be targeted to anything or attached to anything. But I agree that you have the right to boycott AI, and I support you, right? But I'm not, like, do we understand what I am like, I need a better solution than what we're offering right now? But not to, I don't want you to ever feel like I'm attacking you over something that I agree is harmful. I don't agree AI is harmful. I agree people are harmful using AI, right? But I don't want to treat AI like it's special when it's the same problem over and over again. And I think the issue is we always think the next thing is the problem. Look at, you know how conservatives are so fucking attached to gay and trans people? I feel like sometimes progressives are so attached to like the problem that they never zoom out to fix the problem. And this isn't your fault. This is how we're trained. Like we are trained to never actually solve the problem because we are evolved over millions of years. And I know you want to blame like the elites and all these people. They're also just doing what their programming is telling them to do. Right? That's like the levels. My levels is to say that that's what they're doing, exactly what they think they should be doing. And you're doing what you should be doing. But do we know why we're doing it? And I want to just give you an opportunity to take a deep breath and recognize that like nobody has the choice they think they have. But not because of the elites and the billionaires, but because we as a species are inherently flawed. I want to reassure you, right? But I want you to also zoom in on the micro and put one foot in front of the other and do something. But I want you to do what you think is right. But I want you to also check yourself, right? Chad says, someone boycotting AI can be the same reason you're boycotting Amazon, right? Exactly. But I'm not telling you to boycott Amazon, right? And I'm not going to tell you to do that. Okay? So like that's the thing is like I'm not going to care if people shop at Amazon because I think the problem is bigger than shopping at Amazon. But as long as that's an understanding, right? Like, oh yeah, I don't use AI. Okay, cool. And I don't date anyone who uses AI. Cool. And I'm going to raise my kids not to use AI. Cool. But if you're like, that person who uses AI is evil, it's like, I don't know about that. I don't think you're evil if you use Amazon. You know what I mean? I don't think that's it. I think it'd be better if we didn't use Amazon. I think it'd be better if Amazon existed without it coming at the expense of everything else. In the same way I'm plant-based, right? Like I'm not going to make that prescription to you. But like if I was vegan, I would have a different outlook, but I'm not vegan because I'm not having that embodied experience. Oh, that's what it is. The way some people feel about AI feels the same way people feel about veganism, but I don't have that embodied experience. I'm not having it. Right? So like I can't emotionally get on board, but I logically understand what you're saying, but I'm not making that prescription. You know? Yeah. Chad says, I think AI has a place in the world. I just find AI art to be embarrassing. Like I would rather see someone's bad drawing or bad attempt at Photoshop over a generative image. It just feels empty. I mean, that's okay. You're sharing something personal from your brain and your perspective. And that's your brain and that's your perspective and that's fine. I don't share that perspective because my brain is actually, you know how my brain works? My brain almost finds pleasure in most things. My brain is incredibly satisfied very easily. Like I almost enjoy everything about life at this point in my life. This is obviously this point in my life. Everything. Like I just like things. And so I think that I know I wasn't always this way, but because I am this way now, it's like when you're a teenager and you don't wear the color pink because you think it's girly and gay. And now I wear pink on purpose because I actually do like it. And I just pretended I didn't like it because I wanted boys to think I was cool. It's like the people who only like admit to listening to grunge and rock and metal because I think it makes them cooler than listening to Britney Spears. The truth is I like all of it. It's like people who are like, I don't like AI. But like they secretly do like this one anime video of AI, but they don't want to talk about it because I feel like it's a contradiction versus just saying like, I like some AI. I don't think I could ever live in a world where I'm like, I hate every song with auto-tune and I'm never going to like it. It's like, I don't know, I could like it. Out of all the generated images in the world, there must be something created by AI you like. You know? Chess says, would you enjoy or listen to AI music regularly or do you? I don't know if I do. But I don't seek it out. I also am not a good example because I almost listen to no music. I also don't listen, that's not a good question for Brittany because I also don't listen to Chappell Roan or any new music or I don't listen to the new Gaga. Like I am autistic. I listen to old stuff that I basically like and build memory to. But if I built a memory to an auto-tune or an AI song, I would listen to it. If I listened to a song and I didn't know it was AI and I liked it, I would listen to it. And if I found out it was AI, I would keep listening to it. You know whose music I actually liked for a time and people made fun of me for it? including my own partner. He's like, no way you listen to that. I was like, I do. And I like it. It was Corpse's music. I would listen to Corpse's music. My partner's like, I can't believe it. And I was like, I don't care if you judge me. I like it. And now I don't listen to it, but I did for a long time, like get really hooked in. Because as a brain, what I like the most in music is like a sound I hear in a song will keep me hooked. And I'll listen to the same song on repeat for like 1,000 listens. So I'm not saying what I'm going through is what you should go through, but I'm telling you, I don't have the same experience. Like I will listen to the same song on repeat. I was listening to SZA, Good Days on repeat for so long that my brother came into my room. He's like, I swear to God, if you don't change the song. I was like, no. For like literally 6 months straight, nothing but SZA on repeat. One song. That's it. I'm autistic. I don't know what to tell you guys. Which is why I think I don't have a problem with AI a bit. Not that neurodivergents don't have a problem with AI, but I think my autistic brain really doesn't care. You know, I love the Sailor Moon AI videos. I do. I love them. I think they're so pretty. I like the mermaid AI videos. Here, I'll show you. So if you go to like my TikTok, here's like, if I'm interested in things, I'll be like mermaid AI. And like, okay, that's just funny. But like sometimes, not these ones, but like this is kind of fun. Wait, I'm going to get copyrighted. I don't like getting copyrighted. Not these ones exactly, but kind of like, hold on. I got you. Because I get inspiration for my photo shoots. Like stuff like, you know, I might like look at stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is AI, but I might click on it. I'm going to mute it. I might be like, okay, that might be interesting. Feels a little racist with the blackface right there. But like, I might look at this one and be like, oh, okay. Okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of inspired by that. I'm like, oh, I kind of should get pearls and maybe I should get like, oh, I like the color scheme and oh, maybe I should draw that. Like, I might even think to myself, I should draw that. Right? Like I get inspiration. Like I feel inspired. Like I'm like, oh, cool. Like I'm going to go make something based off this video I saw. Does your brain not do that? Do you know what I mean? Like I see this and I'm like, oh, fun. I should do my makeup that way. Or I don't know, like I should decorate my room a particular way. I don't know. Like none of the videos I'm are showing up exactly, but you know what I mean? I just see it and I go, oh, cool. I should do something with that. You know? I don't know. But I also I like everything. So, you know, whether it's an AI video or something done by a person that took 10,000 hours, I like them both. Do I like one more than the other? Maybe. Depends. Kind of? You know? Chet says, wouldn't it be better to get real artists instead of AI? Because that's what AI does at the end of the day. I don't. Okay. Okay. If an artist would like to put their video on the internet and I watch it and get inspired, great. Are there any artists who are making this type of art? Because I never saw it before AI. So when artists are making content that look like AI videos that I just showed you of that mermaid, I'm on it. But I'm also like Google image searching, right? Like I've never seen it. That's why I know it's AI, because it doesn't look like anything I've ever seen by a person, right? Okay. But that's the problem. But that's not, how do I say this? Okay, how do you guys feel about fan fiction? How do you guys feel about fan fiction? Yay or nay? Do you think 50 Shades of Grey should have been made since it was a fan fiction of Twilight? What do you guys think? Do you guys read fanfic? You know what I mean? Oh, yes, it's art. You know what I mean? I used to hate fan fiction. I used to think fan fiction was bullshit. I used to think you're a loser if you write fan fiction and sell it, because I was like, how dare you take someone's idea and make it your own? And now I'm like, fuck it, do it. Now I'm like, do it, baby. Let's go. Like, fuck it. But I used to be so anti-fan fiction because I thought it was stealing. Probably the same way you feel about AI art. And now I'm like, fuck it. Do it. Do it. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Same thing with reaction content. Do you know reaction content? People think it's stealing because you're watching a video on stream and they want it to be banned because they think you're not creating original content. Like, are you getting what I'm picking up? Are you understanding how it's all the same to me? So fan fiction, create reaction content, and AI. People, literally, it's all the same to people. The same reason you're using, like you're thinking no AI is the same, for this argument, is the same reason people want to stop reaction content from existing. They want to stop my stream from existing because they feel like I'm taking people's videos and they don't think it's fair. What do you guys think about that? Do you understand how the argument's the same in that concept? Like, do you understand that that's the argument, right? Or what about when you're learning to, like, you're saying not really the same at all? Is it not the same? What's different about it in this, for that conversation about AI stealing from creatives? Like, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know what the difference is because I'm a sharing is caring kind of girly, right? Like when Hassan eats on stream and leaves, people get really mad about it. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Chet says, no, it's not you, Brittany. You work, you put in the work. Yeah, but people don't think I put in the work, right? You understand that, right? Like, people don't think I put in the work. They don't think it's good. Like, yeah, now we're in a copyright discussion. People think it's not. They think it's slop. They think reaction content is slop. That's what they call it. You know what I mean? And what about, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, do we, like, okay, I'm coming from a very radical stance that everything should be shared, basically, for the most part. That I think real artists don't care if people learn from them. But at the same time, I can see why it's a threat to certain people because we have attachments to the things we create. And I understand that. I'm not saying you should be taken advantage of. I'm not saying people should, like, I don't want a big company coming to steal your imagery and your style and then suing you for using it, right? That's not the world I want to live in. Okay, hold on, pause. Let's take big companies out of it. No, maybe that's too hard. Because I think your fear is often those big companies, which you should be afraid of anyways. Hold on. Chet says, but you did put in the work. However, typing in a prompt that are scraps from other art, it has to look because there are multiple artists out there that have that style. Chet says, Brittany, how would you feel if someone made a fan fiction of you and someone like Destiny or Ethan? I feel like this is when it gets parasocial and weird. Well, I think generally it's unethical. So I do think it's unethical to use real people's images or real people in a distorted way. If it's like, I think there's something unethical. Like, I think there's even, I would argue, if it's not obviously fake, it's unethical. Sometimes I think it's flattering. Like when I see a meme of me, I do get kind of excited when people make memes or GIFs of me. I'm like, this is so exciting. But I think it's unethical if you pretend to be that person. I think it's unethical if you try to literally trick people. I think it's unethical if it's not clear that it's not real. I think it's weird to make a fanfic about real people in general, but that's from an individual perspective. Like, what kind of a person does that? Now, when I was 15, I used to make fanfics about bands, and then I grew up and I graduated high school, right? So I understand why an immature teenage brain would do this, but why would a grown adult make a fan fiction about YouTubers? Do you know what I'm saying? But a teenager, like, I get it, okay? There's something there. But if I made an art piece, so then, okay, now you're asking me Brittany personally, right? Now we're talking about Brittany personally. If I made an art piece that took me 1,000 hours to make, and then I found out AI was using it to train their imagery, like, I don't know what that has to do with me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what does that have to do with me? if I make a piece of art that I put on merch and I become famous for that art, or not even famous, but I make a living, and then a company takes that art and copyrights it, so now I can't make my art, then that's a problem. But if I make art and other people are inspired by my art and take on my style and start drawing like me, what does that have to do with me? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody was like, oh, I'm really inspired by Brittany Simon as an artist and I started painting like her, okay, what does that have to do with me? Like if somebody started making art that looked like Tim Burton's art, like who, like, I don't know. Like if I had a signature aesthetic that was so distinct like Tim Burton and somebody started doing it like me, I Brittany do not care. I'm not saying you shouldn't care. I'm saying you can't make me care. I do not care. Like you know what I mean? Like I think I can't tell, like everyone has such a different problem with it, which is so valid. I think I'm struggling, you know what I mean? Chessa, so you do not care for art? No, I love art. I live for art. I'm moved immensely by art. I don't think you own art. I think art is created and then it's not yours anymore. You know what I mean? I think you can be the originator in a way, but I don't think you create I don't think anyone creates original anything. I think we all just exist and we're motivated and inspired by the world around us. And we create a painting. Like when you paint a mountain, you don't own the mountain. It's not yours. You're not the originator of the mountain. You know what I mean? The mountain existed before you. You know what I mean? Chet says, so your videos could be re-uploaded and monetized? Do you want to No. Be very careful with the way I'm using the language. If you re-upload my videos and pretend to be me, that's not okay. If you re-upload my videos as fan videos and you put in edits and you make it clear it's not me, like that's a little bit different, right? But if you take parts of my videos and make fan videos, like I don't care. But if you upload a channel and you pretend to be me and you answer questions like you're me, that's a problem, right? Then that's weird. No, you can't upload just the videos because you would be impersonating me then, right? Then you would be impersonating me. And that's unethical. I would never want you to impersonate an author. I would never want you to go around and saying I'm, Stephen King or something. Like you can't do that, right? And AI doesn't do that either, right? AI doesn't take your image and sell it. AI takes a part of your image to make its own image, right? Chad says it's okay to impersonate someone else's style. Yeah, like like if people want to make, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Leave a comment. That's someone's style, right? Like somebody was the first guy who got up here and was like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. But like we all copy the way people do things because it works, right? That's fine. Someone said, so if someone made an AI video of you and monetize it, no, I just said you cannot impersonate people. I have rules. I just said you cannot impersonate a living creature. You cannot make porn of them. You cannot make a video of them. I've already said that 1,000 times. There need to be rules. Okay? Just like you can't just have a baby, there are rules. You can't just have sex with someone, there are rules. You can't just, make AI, there are rules. Don't you guys understand? I don't believe in free for all. I believe in rules. We're having a conversation about what the rules should be. Who says are the rules? Us. That's kind of how it works, Home Skillet. We do. This is the philosophy channel. We create rules together. It's called society. Us. It's a collective effort. We. That's what we're doing. Chet said, I think what you're picking up on, Brit, is the layer of American hyper-individualism that makes AI so deeply upsetting, and yet artists copy each other all the time because of inspiration. Yeah, like the hyper-individuality is always going to be the problem. But if as a collective we come together, we can make AI beautiful. The issue isn't AI, it's individualism. The issue isn't AI, it's unethical people. You know what I mean? That's the dilemma. You're not mad at AI, you're mad at people existing. Yeah, baby? Okay. So again, we're not upset that a technology exists. We're upset at the harm humans can use, humans can use it for harm. That's what we're afraid of. You know what I mean? that question is, are you ethical enough to make an ethical decision while using this tool? Are you good enough? Chad said, but it's harming artists. I think it's harming some artists, and we should talk about it. I think Shein and all these companies that are stealing designs from independent artists and using it on their own, they are hurting artists. We should talk about that. Okay. But I also, and I'm going to use this example because I don't think you guys know this about me. Do you know the Vlogbrothers? I talked about this yesterday in stream. I'm going to say it today for people missing it. They didn't copyright DFTBA. I watched this video a long time ago. I don't know if things have changed, but I saw DFTBA at a Target one time and I was like, hey, can Target put DFTBA on a pillow? Don't forget to be awesome, because that belongs to the Vlogbrothers. But then I found out the Vlogbrothers did not copyright DFTBA, so all of their viewers and fans could also make money off of it. I want to be like that. I want to make something that gets you rich or stable or pays your rent. I want to be like that. That's my dream. My dream is to make something that helps little people make money. Now, obviously, the consequences, these big companies will use it, right? That's the evil. But the good is that you could make money off of it. And I think that's beautiful. So like all these fans who are DFTBA fans, they can make merch and they won't get sued, from my understanding, okay? Versus if you make Harry Potter merch, you getting sued. If you make Disney merch, oh, they're shutting down your Etsy because corporations are the problem. But I want to create work that makes people money. That's why I kind of like the way Hassan allows fan channels to exist under his approval to make money. I like, what a dream. What a dream to be able to give people, a way to make money. You know what I'm saying? Off of you. As long as it doesn't take from you in a sense, but you can give. We don't want to take, we want to give. How can I give back to my community if I am copywriting and hoarding all of my creativeness? So when people come to me and say, Britt, how can I be a YouTuber? I tell them exactly how I do it. When other YouTubers come to me and say, Britt, how do you make money? I tell them how much I make and how I make it. I don't, it's, you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? There are certain things I keep private for like adult reasons, but generally, like, I'm very transparent. Because yeah, let's go. I want you to be successful, right? Because do you think that AI is damaging how people consume information? I mean, yeah, but no worse than Fox News. I think, what's horrible about AI is it's not just conservatives falling for the propaganda anymore. Now it's everybody. I remember I saw an AI video of China allegedly sending food to Palestine, and I knew right away it wasn't real. I knew right away. I was like, this cannot be real. There's no way. And I clocked it, but some leftist TikTokers didn't. And I was so annoyed with them for spreading the misinformation. I was like, it's obviously AI, bro. And I'm not saying I never fall for AI, but I'm saying right away I saw it and I was like, I don't think this is real. It just wouldn't make sense politically. But so I think the issue with AI is that it's the new Fox News for some people. But, I was always pretty good at sniffing out the bullshit on Fox News. So, okay. There's a conversation to be had about that, right? Let me scroll up in case I missed a comment. Let me see. You're open source coded. I try to be. I try to be. Artists learning from each other and AI learning from artists for techno-fascist profit are different things. I will die on that hill. I mean, I agree, guys. Again, I think the issue is like, okay, hold on. Let's get the paint out. I think we need it now. Okay. No. Let's do it this way. Okay, we have one bubble. We have two bubble. Okay. 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 So AI as a tool exists for profit, for capitalist companies, and for a living for individuals. Are you saying in a world where, are you saying you want it for neither? Is that the argument, that we want AI for nobody? Nobody gets AI. Not an individual with a mom and pop shop and not the corporations. Is that the hill we're dying on? It's okay if it is. I'm just asking for clarification. Right? Chat says, what I worry about is AI will widen the wealth gap. It's here, baby. Guys, it's, Habibis, it's here. It's here. It's already here. It's already here. You're already fucked. Guys, you're already cooked. You're in the skillet. You're basically almost done. They have you on the grill. You're literally being spit fired right now, baby. It's already here. 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 You know, all my life I heard about Republicans saying like, oh, the Democrats, they're going to make the wealth gap even worse. Guys, it's already here. We're already on the grill. What are we going to do? We're already on the grill. We're already here. It's too late. I'm not trying to doom and gloom you. I'm trying to say it was always going to happen. Everything that happens is always going to happen. Everything that was always going to happen is always going to happen. It's already happened. We're here. Okay? What do we do? Hank Green just made this video about how electricity is about to be so expensive. No one's going to be able to afford it. What are we going to do? And that's why they keep you, like, that's why everyone stays angry about things that don't matter, like gay people. You know what I mean? It's like, you guys, we're not locking in as a collective consciousness. And what are we doing instead? Praising some loser guy who kills somebody on the street like that's the answer. You know what I mean? The way people were praising Luigi as collective consciousness, like, so to understand your assessment that the proof of collective consciousness is happening is that somebody died, a man killed somebody. Yeah, that sounds like that's going to work. You know, that sounds like that's going to work. Forgive me for being a person born as a woman and raised as a woman and maybe asking for a different conversation. You know, maybe a different solution. Okay? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this cannot be the solution, right? Let's say AI in part reinforces the notion that humans can be easily fooled. In the context, real jobs getting replaced by snake oil salesmen, depressing. Where does the concept of a snake oil salesman come from? When do you think that, where does that come from? (1719, 19th century? So before AI? Did you need AI to figure out the snake oil salesman is a thing? Do you know what I mean? Everything you're afraid of has already happened time and time again. Has already happened time and time again, 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 time and time again. I want you to understand it's a cycle. It's always happened, always will happen again. You know how your family history just goes in cycles and then you're the one person who's like, I'm going to do something different. And everyone in the family's like, boo. Okay, what are we going to do that makes sense, but understand that like it's just going to change for us, right? Like it's not about other people. I think we're doing this thing again. Hold on, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get people. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to get this. We're going to make it work. You as the person. Okay, people. Okay. You want to do something that impacts people, yes? And then people are going to do something that's going to impact you. And these are not going to look the same. Okay? What probably will happen is the way people impact you will probably be far worse than your intention of what you will do to impact people. But remember that the road to hell is paved in good intentions. Are you sure your good intentions around AI are not going to hurt people or person? Okay, I'll give you a few examples in which AI has improved my life immensely. Subtitles on my videos, because I could never afford to pay somebody. And now more people can watch my videos, okay, especially people with disabilities. Dubbing my videos in different languages so people around the world can watch me, dope. And ChatGPT writes descriptions for my videos and gives hashtags because I literally cannot do it. And now that I've been doing it, my videos are so much more successful. Had I been doing this from day one, I would have been a much bigger channel, but I never had the energy. I never had the spoons. I could never do it. Something that was not accessible to me as a creative is now accessible to me in a way that has never happened. So for a personally, this has been incredibly helpful. Just immensely. Just like, I can't even explain to you how much better my channel is doing since I've been doing these 3 little things. Just amazing. Okay? Can we have that in a way that doesn't come at the expense of humanity? I believe so. How do we do that? With regulation and with everybody doing a little bit better, right? Chad says, what does not having spoons means? Spoons was created by a disability activist with lupus who explained every task takes energy. So let's say everyone wakes up with 20 spoons. Putting descriptions on my videos takes like 10 of my spoons. And I can't afford it. I can't afford those spoons, so I never do it because I need to eat, and eating takes spoons, and sleeping takes spoons, and brushing my teeth takes spoons. So by the time I'm done with my day, I don't have 10 spoons to give. You know? So that's what spoons are. Okay? Now, I'm not saying because they benefit me, I'm willing to let the world suffer. I'm asking, what's the thing I have to trade? That's how I play games about harm. I think all human beings existing cause a level of harm. So I play, okay, how am I willing to harm reduce? Michael, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. So as an example, I decided to go plant-based as a form of harm reduction. I don't know how long it will last. I don't know if something else will replace it. Maybe I'll go back to eating animals, but I'll replace it with something else. Maybe I'll give up AI so I can eat animals again. Or maybe I'll stop eating animals so I can use AI. Or maybe, because I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with using AI. Like, I don't think AI itself is evil. But I do believe it's causing harm. But the level of harm isn't much different to me than eating animals. If anything, I do think eating animals is more unethical than... Because eating animals causes a death to the living creature, causes impact on the climate change, which you guys are worried about, and causes issues in human health. So, without a doubt, AI is literally less harmful than eating animals. Just like... Definitely. But AI also causes harm to ecosystems, but then so do raising cattle, because like we have to cut down forests to have cattle graze the land. So yeah, I would say like for me, I still think eating animals is more harm from my understanding of the data. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? But I might switch it up with something else one day. You know what I mean? But I'm still kind of stuck on the whole like killing an animal thing. So I'm not doing that. But I don't have an embodied vegan experience enough to like prescribe it to other people and or to make my partner vegan or something, because my partner eats meat and drinks dairy and stuff like that, So there's something there, right? So I guess like we're mad at corporations, yes, like I agree with you. But are we mad at individuals? Like, I don't know. I see a lot of benefit to this. What about people who are like severely disabled? What about that AI video we watched about the girl who's so disabled? She can't build relationships the same way, and she relies pretty heavily on like her relationship with her AI. I don't know. A part of me is kind of like, obviously something went severely wrong in her life, but also like I could not live with myself if I took that away from her. I would feel so guilty if I took that away from her. You know what I mean? Like, I can see your argument that like it shouldn't have been that way in the first place. But what if it also is nice? Like, what if music plays the same role for people? Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's the difference. Okay, pause. You know the difference between daydreaming and maladaptive daydreaming is like, I'm sick of TikTok. TikTok is killing brain cells. You know what's actually hurting people? Thinking that anybody knows what they're talking about on TikTok. Everyone keeps calling daydreaming maladaptive daydreaming. Guys, daydreaming is not maladaptive. If it's maladaptive, it's something different. It's like impacting life. If you're repeating conversations or having like fake conversations in your head, that's not maladaptive daydreaming. Just because somebody has a big ego, they're not a narcissist. Right? Okay, but Chad says that woman needs other disabled friends. Yeah, but you're acting like forcing friendship works. You also can't force friendship on people, right? So I'm, again, like, we're having an issue here with like the big thing happening. No, Chad says the plastic straw problem, putting the onus on the individual. Exactly. 100%. I feel like, why are we putting the responsibility on us and not the corporations, but also it's always on us. So why are you saving sea turtles in the ocean by cutting up plastic if you're eating animals? Do you know what I mean? It's like, why bother to save the sea turtles or save ocean life if you're also eating ocean life? Are we saving ocean life so we can eat it later? I guess that makes sense because humans have to eat and we're animals. So actually, that would be a great incentive to save ocean life because you want to feed yourself. But also, it's this big conversation we have to have over the fact that technology isn't separate from us. This is me. This is nature, and I am this. This is me, and I am this. So we, right? Like, we created this out of nature. Like, before there was any of this, do you know what I mean? Like, everything is nature. This is nature. It's just we think it's not. We think it's separate from us. But that's why I'm saying we are the beaver who built the dam. This is the dam. This AI stuff is the dam we are building. And we're just doing it because we're existing. We don't have a choice. And I'm saying, I just want to make it clear in case you're just coming in. I am not opposed to you hating AI. I'm not opposed to you not using AI. I'm not opposed to you getting frustrated by AI. That is all valid. I am just challenging your why so I can understand it too. Why are you having this relationship with it? Okay? I believe in quality over quantity. So I understand the quality argument. I agree with you. Quality stuff is better, but I'm going to be real with you and I'm going to hold your hand when you say that. When I say this, some AI stuff is better than what humans can produce because some of what you're producing is just not quality, but you think it is because you think you're a human and your ego has told you it's better. It's not. Some of this AI stuff is better than what you produced, even though I know you're saying, but the AI is based off of humans' creation, right? But yet you won't let me consume AI. So you say AI is built by people and it couldn't exist without your work, but then you won't let me consume it because it's not real. Which one is it? Is AI done by real people or is it fake? But then the work you produce, I don't like it. I like this work, and it happens to be AI. And I say this as somebody who barely likes AI work. Okay, barely. Like, some people are obsessed with it. I barely like it. Like, maybe 2 to 5% of the art I consume is AI. Okay? Chad says, I hate it because of the harm of the creation and injustice of it and making it harder for people to get jobs. You don't believe that. I refuse to engage in a world where you believe you care about people's jobs. Do you care about people's jobs? Do you care about the fact that truck drivers might be eliminated? Do you care about the fact that, like, kids lost their jobs in factories because we created rules around it? Do you hate that? Like, do you really care that people, like, artists never had jobs to begin with? I don't know what we're talking about here. If you were lucky, one company picked up one artist. You know what I mean? What about all the other artists that lost to that main artist who got picked? You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about keeping people's jobs. I care about housing and clothing people because they shouldn't have to work. We're rich enough. We're wealthy enough. Why do people even have to have jobs? Do you know what I mean? Like, why do you even have to have a job? So yeah, I'm not, like, your job has always been threatened. That's why they tell you, like, you might think your job is secure, but it could be lost tomorrow. We shouldn't even be fighting for these fucking shitty jobs. We should be fighting for a world where you don't have to go to work. You shouldn't have to go to work. Like, we should exist in a world where people, don't have to work 30 jobs. You're trying so hard to keep this job where you have to work 3 of them just to pay rent. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if the world is going in such a direction where people don't have to work, then we should be creating universal health care and housing. Yeah. Okay. I feel like my brain, Chet said, aren't you a little worried about the dystopian-ish feel of AI? Do you know they weren't killing witches, they were killing little girls and women. They were taking you and me off the street and putting us on a stake and murdering us because men wanted us so badly, or because they didn't understand that we could make things happen with our stupid women brains. No, I'm not afraid of it. I'm living in a dystopian right now. happening. It always happened. It always existed. Life has been that way forever. And I'm saying it will get bad the same way it's always been bad. Like, I don't know why this is scary to you and getting picked off the street because of your skin color wasn't. Like, that's what I'm saying, guys. It's all the same. It doesn't matter what package you put it in. It's humans being shitty to other humans. It doesn't matter what package it comes in. It doesn't matter how it's produced. It doesn't matter who's making the money. Suffering is happening because of humans. Humans are going to human. We are suffering because of ourselves. It's not to say that you shouldn't be upset with AI. I'm saying you should have been upset a long time ago. And you should have been kinder and more compassionate because of it. Okay? Chess says, what happens when the elite no longer needs us? Maybe that's the wider fear. What if the elite doesn't want us, need us? Baby. You know, I saw a person, I think from the Congo. I don't remember. And they were talking about their genocide. And they said, if nothing is happening to help Palestinians, what hope do we have? Palestine is one of the most videotaped, documented genocides in present history. And nothing is happening. It's not helping. And then they said, what hope do we have? And you're worried about a fucking eye? Like, that's going to change anything? Even if it gets worse, even if we don't have food. You remember the Depression? Do you remember people in the Depression? Right? You ever see Cinderella Man? That's kind of a fun movie. You know? It's going to happen again. And it's going to happen again. And it's going to happen again. And it's you can't stop it from happening. You can prevent it, but it's not the same thing. You can, okay, so, okay, I believe in preventative harm. So this is here. This is the harm. P.S. Our government shut down. You know, I logged into my bank and it said, are you being impacted by the government shutdowns? My friend is supposed to fly and come see me. There's a chance she might not be able to get on a plane because some airports are shut down. Okay, please lock in. The government's been shutting down my whole fucking life. Okay, so here's the harm. Okay, we are trying to reduce harm. There are levels of harm throughout life, right? And the ones we're trying to avoid are sort of these ones, right? And when do these ones happen? Okay, they happen pretty often, actually. So let's say, you know, they go like this and they go boom, and then it goes back down. There's a boom. Okay. So here, we'll even put one here. Okay. Actually, I guess that kind of ruins the whole point. But like, well, let's, you know, something like that, you know, something like there's like peaks. Okay. It's going to happen no matter what. Okay. So I need you to accept that. Hold my hand. Just stay with me here through this conversation. It's going to get bad forever. And it will get good forever. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and we're in the 2 steps back era right now. Can I get you at least to agree with the hypothetical? Just join me on this little experiment, okay? We're there. Okay. So it comes in cycles. My goal, what I think should be humanity's goal, is to first accept that this will happen, okay? Which is, by the way, probably won't ever happen, so it'll take me a lifetime. This already happens, okay? Now the goal is to create it where it looks more like this. Okay? The idea is that instead of peaking this high up, it will peak here. And eventually, over time, it will get less peaky. And then maybe it might even be more like this. Okay? The idea is to harm reduce. Okay? The idea is to accept it will always get bad. I don't want it to get bad as it always gets. Okay? Remember when they bailed out the banks? Too big to fail? Do you remember that? Okay? Like, do we know this? Yes? Okay, remember? Okay. We didn't solve a crisis at that time. Right now, with our government shutting down, we're not solving anything. We're putting Band-Aids on everything. And we're like, we fixed it. We didn't do nothing. And now look at what's happening. It's happening right in front of our eyes. Little boys, okay, Sudan, Congo, Haiti, men are kidnapping little boys, killing and murdering people, raping women. And we're just like, AI impacts these communities. So does technology. But it existed before this fear you have knew of AI. What I'm saying is, this thing you've been worried about isn't AI. It started 20 years ago when it was your gluttony. Our gluttony. Our need to have the latest iPhones. Our need to have our latest computers updated every second. It's us. They look at us, these companies, and go, how do I get people to buy more of my shit? Which forces production to happen overseas, which forces overseas people to put these people in enslaved camps, right? Enslavement camps, which brings us back to our shoes and our iPhones and our everything else. We are the capital. If you're in America, you are the capital. Your whole life, everything that you are as a country exists off the enslavement and backs of the globe. The whole planet is severely struggling and suffering primarily to make Americans happy. And I'm saying, just like, you ever see Jingle on the Way? You ever see that? And it's like all these people rush in to buy toys and everyone's going crazy. That happens in real life. It's less now because of online shopping, which again, you know what I mean? So everyone's guilty. No, it's not just America. Everyone is guilty. But for Americans not understanding how our country is so severely responsible for the world, and we are participating, okay? The other day, as an example, and I know this isn't for everybody, I'm just telling you the difference. And a part of it is like, this is why I say you have to do the right thing even when no one else is doing it. Because eventually, if individuals, because they really have come to this conclusion, start doing it, will be better. So I have rules for myself and how I create content. I don't care if I use AI, but I can't use AI under certain circumstances. As an example, I'm not allowed to make 20 YouTube channels, source material from other people, and upload AI slop. I have that rule for myself. So you are allowed to have a rule for yourself that says no. I don't buy fast fashion. Okay, if we get it as gifts, it is what it is. If we're really desperate, fine. But I don't do it just because. Okay, I've made that decision. But let's see if I'm even able to have that option in the future if only my options are fast fashion. I don't know. But right now, I am privileged enough to not have to buy new clothes because how many times have you seen me wear this shirt in the last month? Probably 100. Because I don't care if I show up in the same top. But I'm not saying I'll never buy fast fashion. I'm saying in this moment of time, I don't have to, so I'm not doing it. This is analogous to sort of again, we're not pro AI or I'm not like, guys, AI is the best thing ever. I talk to AI. I'm not Mike Israetel, who's like, AI is so real. I can't wait to hug AI. Cringe, bro. Get a fucking life. Go meditate, right? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying AI cannot be more scary to you than anything else that's been happening. And if it is, then I want you to recenter yourself because you're suffering unwisely. You are suffering unwisely. In my opinion, probably, maybe. If you are losing sleep over this, You know what I mean? But it's okay to go through a fear, right? Yeah, dude. Oh, chat says Mike Estradella has become embarrassing. Bro, he has... I stopped watching him around the election because I found out he was like a Trump supporter. But I cannot believe the way he has fallen off the wagon. And people are literally now going after his dissertation, his PhD. You know what I mean? Chet says, yes, but some people are losing their jobs over AI. Being afraid AI is going to take your job, I think, is a capitalistic perspective. I can't understand it outside of capitalism. I only understand that within the framework of capitalism. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. Everything takes your job. Locking down, like when we locked down, people lost their jobs. Why do you think conservatives didn't want to do lockdown? The fear can't be that we're losing our jobs. The fear is we don't have money to pay for things, right? So say with me, the fear isn't that you lost your job. The fear is that you can't pay your rent. So we make it so the fear isn't that you lost your job. The fear is that you can pay your rent. Or the fear is fixed so you can pay your rent. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly what conservatives said over COVID. Why lock down? People are going to lose their jobs, which they did, by the way. Companies went under, people couldn't come back to work. So you're not, like, obviously we made the decision as a country or as a world to let people lose their jobs for COVID. So the idea is that they should be paid, that people should make money. So again, this is when Discord said, I feel like we're starting to loop the conversation. We are looping the conversation, which is fine. We can move on. I have something else I really want to talk about. And I got to edit my pod. I got to get going. But like, this is life repeating itself. We are always going to lose jobs. This is the same argument we've used all throughout history. You know? Chet says, so basically you're saying that things are inherently bad, ergo another bad thing is just a twig in the bonfire. I'm saying if you really want to problem solve the issues, we have to stop tackling the surface level problems. We're always doing the same thing on repeat. And by the way, what I'm saying now won't matter. You're going to do it anyways. And then I'm going to die. And then somebody else will come out 100 years from now and say, guys, we're repeating cycles. And then that person's going to die. And then another person will show up and say, like, guys, we're repeating cycles. I'm just the girl who's like, we're repeating a cycle. We're repeating a pattern. We've done this before. It didn't work. We should do something else. And then we're going to do the same thing we always do. I'm just making the observation. We're going to do the same thing we always do because we're doing it right now in this conversation. You're doing the same fears, the same solutions, it's the same thing we did before. We're just going to do the same thing over and over again. So do right by people today. Be kind and compassionate. Do the right thing even if nobody else is doing it. But know that you might not know what the right thing is. But figure it out. You will make a mistake trying to do the right thing. I just wouldn't want you to go crazy over it. I don't want you to take your life because of AI. I want you to be able to focus in and be like, oh shit, this AI is making me feel shitty. I'm going to turn it off. Oh damn it really is the phone for me. But remember, just because it's the phone for you doesn't mean it's the phone for me. Maybe because my whole life is the internet and I know I'll be fine if it ever goes away. But because my whole life is the internet, my life is improved because of it. When people make articles on the news like the internet's the issue, internet is ruining children's relationships with self. I was ruining my relationship with myself because I was listening to all the crazy people. All the people who told me I needed a nose job or I hated myself if I did want a nose job. Listen, telling me I hate myself if I have a nose job is the same as telling me I need one. When I turn both of you off, my life gets better. Both of you are wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. Both of you are wrong. And I'm saying we need to turn off both of the voices and actually use this thing for like benefiting our life. Actually be joyful. You know? That's it. Okay? Just like figure out how to do right by people and yourself. But remember, all these people have very good intentions and the road to hell is paved in those good intentions. Okay. Discord said, why did this conversation work better yesterday? Because its members felt less circles. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, I don't know who's watching me. It could be somebody who doesn't even watch my content or know who I am. It could be somebody who watches me, but like, you know, we can also go deeper on member streams because it's a smaller circle of people. So I can catch up with the chat more. It's okay though. This is still a good conversation, right? It's like still a good conversation. I just want you to take a deep breath and not do anything because you're afraid of AI. Because there are plenty of things to be afraid of. Do the right thing, but don't destroy yourself over it, you know? And remember, especially if you're autistic, your sense of justice can make you spiral. A sense of justice can become a disability. You can loop so hard on the unfairness that you will lose yourself to that. So if you're afraid of AI causing psychosis, be careful that your neurodivergency isn't looping you into like mad depression. You know what I mean? Okay? So be good to yourselves. You deserve it. This whole conversation is me trying to say you deserve better than going to bed terrified. Okay? You deserve better than that. All right. All right. Why don't we go to the next topic, which I'm sure will also be heated. You know? You know? Okay. Chat said, I feel like I'm not being heard and my points are valid and backed by studies. I don't know exactly what you've been saying, but I haven't been reading it because I can't keep up with chat. So I don't know if you're taking it personal, what I'm saying, but I honestly have no idea what you've been saying. If I've read your comment out loud, I didn't attribute it to you. If you're talking to other chatters, they're probably talking to you. But you're using data and it's backed by studies, but does it mean you have the right answer? You can have the data and backed by studies. It doesn't mean you have the right answer, right? So like you're valid, your opinion's valid. I'm not here to dispute your opinions. We're trying to understand each other. You specifically YouTuber, or chatter, I don't know what you've been saying. So if you're, don't take it personal from me, girl. I really don't. I haven't put in my head, this chatter is saying this thing. I don't know, but you're valid. Okay. Okay. Now, the anime world is, girl. You said, I mean, in general, probably general chat stuff. Okay. Yeah, we're trying. It's hard, guys. We're doing it though. I think overall, from my vibe, chat seems to be pretty good. So I know it can get heated. Anime TikTok is upset right now. There's this whole thing that's been happening. I don't know if you've been following it. What I did is I went between these two content creators' pages and tried to splice up their replies and everything together in a timeline. Hopefully it makes sense. Let's talk about it. Racism, anime, boy bubbles, girl bubbles. It's a whole thing. I'm dying to know your opinions. Here we go. The original video that started off this conversation, it's actually deleted now as far as I've heard. Last time I checked, it was gone, but maybe it's back up. But he is making a reply to the video, so it kind of works. Here we go.
A little condescending.
Okay, hold on.
If I say Jujutsu Kaisen is not good storytelling, are y'all gonna jump me? Because I know how y'all get.
A little condescending, but yeah, let's get it. And
okay, first, not condescending. Kind of funny, though, that he thought it was. Because, and I'm not on either person's team, okay? I'm already going to form my own opinion, of course. But I'm going to watch it like he's watching it. I did not think that was condescending. I just thought that was like, yeah. Fandoms are crazy. You all thought Solo Leveling was a good anime. I said what I said. Solo Leveling was at most mid. Less than mid. I can't believe I sat through season 1 and you all told me this was one of the best animes of all time. You're crazy. Thank you. Okay.
And for the record, there's literally no hate here. She literally asked JJK fans to respond.
JJK fans, where y'all at?
I'm not gonna lie though, I do find it hard to believe that she actually watched all of season 1, even though she said that she did.
I watched all.
So he's already setting us up to doubt her. Okay. Even though she was giggling and laughing to bring us in. Okay. Got it. Let's see.
Season 1, I watched JJK 0. And at the end, I genuinely could not tell you anything about the world building. I could not tell you about the curses. I could not tell you about the domain expansion.
Oh, he's got zoomed up. She's saying, I can't tell you anything about the curses, the world building, how anything works.
I can tell you nothing.
Because how do you not understand curses when it was explained in the first 14 minutes of the entire series? And then...
Okay, fun fact. I've watched JJK on dub and on sub, and I could not tell you anything about the world building because the way I watch content is... about people, not world building stuff. But also, if I had to explain curses to people, I would say, no, shit, I don't even know where to start. See, I feel like I'm wrong. Curses. Nope, I got nothing. Fuck! See, I can't, like, I don't think about it that way. Like, my brain, yeah, this is the argument I have with a lot of my friends. They're like, oh, do you love the world building? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like, I give a fuck what people do. Like, you know, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I love that movie. And I had some people in my life just like hung up on the world building. I was like, who cares? And they're like, it doesn't make sense. I was like, who fucking cares? The point is the art. What do you learn from the art? What do you learn from the point of it? I don't remember, but who cares? Oh yeah, cursed spirits are sentient bad emotions. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I remember that. See how I remember it, but I don't care? But like, if I cared, because again, why are we enjoying art? You can love it for the world building, or you can love it for the people. You can love it because it makes you laugh, or you could love it for other things. Like, I don't think it matters. But I've watched in sub and dub, and I do understand things better in dub, but I watch a lot of my anime in sub. But I also have like rewatched JJK season 1 multiple times and the movies multiple times. And off the dome, I couldn't tell you what curses were. Also, Hunter x Hunter could not tell you how Nen works to fucking save my life. I don't know. I just know it's there. Like the whole arc where they're explaining Nen, I was like, can I zone out on this or do I gotta pay attention? And my partner's like, you gotta pay attention. I was like, oh, fuck. It's like, okay. So that's the thing. You get to enjoy art for what you want to enjoy it for. But I think if I, you know what I mean? Like, she has her opinions because of how her brain works. You have your opinions because of how your brain works. That's my initial thought just off this TikTok. By the way, this is as far as I got before I stopped and I was like, I got to show this on stream because I know my brain works very specifically. And I do not care that you like the world building. That's fine. But automatically I know what she's saying. It's the same critique I have of like, you know, JJK is really good. I really like JJK. Do I think it's one of the best animes of all time? Not really, but I think it's really good. It's so good that in the right edit on a fan page, I will cry. On the wrong edit, I will not. JJK feels like an anime that's like this, and then it spikes so good. You're like, oh my God, I'm so high. Back down. Oh my God, I'm so high. Back down. Oh my God, I'm so high. Back down. That's how I feel about JJK. Love it. But I feel like I sit through a lot of it to get to the high moments and then it comes back down. And I still love it. And you know what I'm saying? But everyone is different in how they consume. Okay?
The next thing she brings up is domain expansions, which was pretty thoroughly explained in the Gojo versus Jogo battle. They literally explain that it's the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery, but they also explain all the pros and cons and how to literally defend against it. Gojo literally explains these.
By the way, this is why I don't do this for a living, because y'all get too fucking weird about it. The reason I don't do philosophy this way or anime is because people get so fucking hung up on it. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's not that deep. What did you get from the art? Like this whole like, oh, but they explained this in episode 2. Yeah, but that's okay. If I as a viewer didn't get it 3 watches in, then either my brain works differently, you didn't explain it as good as you thought, or y'all went too, like y'all have to admit you paid super attention because it's your special interest. Because hear me out. How many of these boys, because their ego is tied to this, have to know these answers in case somebody asks them about it? My ego isn't tied to me knowing the world building. It doesn't matter to me. So if I'm asked about it, I don't feel less like a fan, but these boys will. I think these boys will feel less like fans if they're questioned on it and they don't know. But I do not care. I am still a fan and you can't take it away from me. Thank you.
That boosts and how to counter the domains, and then also shows Yuji Itadori and the audience how to do it by countering Jogo's domain. So again, no hate, but how did you watch the entire first season and miss that? And then
how did you watch the entire first season and miss that? For the same reason you don't know where your girlfriend's clitoris is. Just kidding. That was... Just kidding.
When it comes to world building, Gojo also goes into Jujutsu sorcery, explains how Jujutsu curse techniques work, also explains Jujutsu High, and then not only that, but I mean, we learned about Sukuna. I don't really know how much more world building you wanted in the first season when we got a ton of it. So I don't know what you mean whenever you said this.
Because I know how y'all get.
But
yeah, because you don't get it. Because you get like this. you get like this. That's what she's saying. She's like, I know how you guys get. I made a video on anime and politics, and the worst anime fans in the world came into my comment sections. The misogyny, the bigotry came out. So just wait for it, because I know where this goes. I saw a little bit of where this goes because I was getting this ready. Just wait until she proves his point. He proves her point so well without knowing it, but also she proves his point. Guys, it gets weird. Are you ready? Hold your breath. It's about to get weird. Okay. So then, we should go. This is 5 days ago. This is 6 days ago. Okay, so this one happened. So this is her channel now. Okay, now we're back to this channel, her channel.
Failed at world building, and give me 90 seconds of your time. I'm going to explain how Jujutsu Kaisen is directly related to the literacy issue. Let's go. I made a video saying that Jujutsu Kaisen was not good storytelling because it failed at world building, and I very specifically referenced like the curses, the curse techniques, and the domain expansions. I was like, I couldn't tell you about them, and the overwhelming majority of you that tried to like combat this criticism simply just typed in the definition of the curses, the techniques, and the domain expansions that were given in the series. And that's the difference between reading something and comprehending something, right? Or watching something and actually understanding something. Because just because you can define a thing doesn't mean you can explain it. And if you can't explain it, then you probably don't understand it. Like 99% chance. A lot of y'all think literacy and media literacy.
Yeah, it's interesting that in his response to her, he didn't explain to her what it was. Instead, he just said, you're stupid for not realizing what it was. And I don't believe you watched this anime. It's interesting that his opportunity, like in the opportunity of people in the community, wasn't just to be like, oh, this is what you missed. Like to you guys just did that to me. You guys, instead of being like, Brittany, you're so stupid, was like, oh, this is what curse energy is. I was like, oh yeah, I remember now. Oh yeah, I remember. I remember learning that. I just didn't keep it in the forefront of my brain. That's the difference between communities, is this community actually wants us to get better, and that community wants to prove who knows more about anime.
Literacy is rooted in, do you know these words or not? When it's actually in, can you explain what all of these words mean in the context of the story at large? And most of you could not in the context of JJK. And those of you that could were giving information from something outside of season 1, which was my point. The world building needed to happen up front, and it doesn't. And this goes into the larger point of media literacy. A lot of y'all do not understand what you're watching beyond the surface level explanations and pictures that you're seeing. And that is why a lot of critique that goes deeper is very jarring for y'all, because y'all are like, where did this person even get that from? Because they're looking at it on a level that's deeper than just surface level as you are. And I'm really not saying this to be funny, because I don't think it was even one particular person, but it was very clear to me that many...
Well, I think a lot of the problems with the anime is that you're so saved by the script. I mean, that's why Gojo's locked up right now. Because if he existed, then there would be no challenge, right? So like, JJK isn't good writing because the only way to save the story was to lock up Gojo, right? But I still like JJK, but it is pretty bad writing if you have to like you have to basically, plot armor is so good, you have to trap him in a box. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think she's wrong that technically it is bad writing.
Any of y'all that were trying to explain it to me could not even explain it to yourselves. You could only offer those elementary definitions that were already given in the season, right? But I don't need a definition. I need an explanation, because that's part of world building. I hope you can understand.
Yeah, maybe she's just being like really neurodivergent about it or something, right? Okay, but to like check out this video. So now we're back to, okay, so now this is 5 days ago, 5 days ago. This is that shirt, this is that shirt. No, so first we're gonna watch her video, and then we're gonna watch him replying to the video. Okay, so this is her video.
Dude bros are douchebags. We already know this, but not only are y'all douchebags, y'all are punks, because y'all keep throwing the stone and hiding your hand, and I'm gonna start calling you out about this. This dude made a video about me. The video starts, he runs my intro. If I say JJK is bad storytelling, are y'all gonna jump me? Because I know how y'all get. He says that's condescending. Now, I've been getting jumped all September, okay? It's not condescending. It was disarming. It was letting people know that I was still open to critique. That's number one.
She was saying, I feel, she is saying she is setting them up to be defensive because she knows how they are, but that that puts that, so psychologically that will put them on edge. So that will make them more condescending towards her. So they're both being condescending at that point. But not in the way, she wasn't doing it to be condescending. She was doing it because she was afraid. See how you shouldn't do anything out of fear? And yes, she disabled comments because of this video. Guys, this is where she loses me. For the record, I do not like her. Because you're about to see why. But like, she is not a good person. But like, okay. So like, that's the thing. She set them up to be angry and they took the bait. Which just proved her point that they're angry.
Number 2, he says, I don't even think she watched all of season 1 like she says she did in her video. Okay, cool. And then he also says, this is no hate to her, by the way. Now you've thrown the stone and you've hid your hand. Because you know exactly what you're doing. You just accused me of being condescending and a liar to your audience of hundreds of thousands of people. Saying no hate doesn't make that any better. If I say, with all due respect, your mom should have swallowed you down before she got on the boat at the Philippines to go to America, does that suddenly make my sentence respectful?
And that's where she loses me. Why'd you bring his mom into that? Also, that's racist. Like, why would you say that? What was the point of this? Why would she say this? I don't get why she said this. I can't believe she said that. That's crazy. Like that, I was like, I wanted to be on her. I wanted to be on her side so bad. And then she said that, and I was like, this is why we can't have good things. This is why we can't have good things.
No, it's still disrespectful. And if I were to say something disrespectful like that, I would never walk it back because I'm going to stand on any and everything that I say. Let's get into the critique of JJK. First, if you haven't seen my original video, I was very clear that my issue with JJK was based off of my experience. I say that repeatedly throughout the video. To me, I say that constantly. So trying to discredit my experience is asinine. 2, as I said in the follow-up video, you do not know the difference between defining a thing and explaining a thing. All you can do is parrot back what they said in the video. Congratulations, you have a good memory. That doesn't mean that you have any kind of understanding of what they're actually talking about. And that was the point that I was making in my original video and in my follow-up video. 3, this is the last thing I'm going to say about JJK and how it fails at world building, but I read an interview from Tite Kubo and he said he didn't understand the world building until Nanami was introduced. And Tite Kubo is a master storyteller.
Oh.
And Bleach has arguably some of the best storytelling
Interesting.
in shonen anime.
Okay, receipts.
Is it that he also didn't watch or read because they explained it in the first 14 minutes?
Oh.
Or could it be that people have different expectations for what needs to be explained when you're talking about a fantasy series that requires world building? And back to throwing stones and hiding your hands, I was in your comments. You're not liking none of the comments of people saying, but she's right. She's right. You're only liking the comments of people trying to be funny and referencing the few times I got jumped earlier in September, which lets me know that you knew exactly what you were doing when you were making this video. Like, I respect those of you so much more who say, I hate this girl. Because just get it off your chest. Like, why throw the stone and hide your hand? For what? For what? You're a punk. Leave me alone.
Okay, so obviously, I don't like the way she went for his mom like that or made a racist remark about her swallowing before she came on a boat to America from the Philippines. Like, all of that is really fucking stupid. Okay, I wanted to defend her, but see how I can't? So we're just going to have to observe and get our hands out of this because, like, none of these people are worth it. But just pay attention to how it escalates from misogyny, racism, sexism, all comes into play, okay? It's not done. It's going to escalate more, okay? We're going to start escalating, okay? Because now this video, okay, so now this video.
The boat at the Philippines to go to America, does that suddenly make my sentence respectful?
Just so everyone's clear, we're talking about anime. Now, I'm only going to dignify this with one response, and if she responds again, then so be it, but I won't. The difference
Okay, for the record, he will respond, and there will be much more responses.
between you and I saying no hate is I didn't throw out an insult and then say no hate. You threw out an actual racist insult and then said no hate. I feel like that should be fairly obvious as a difference, and I shouldn't need to explain it.
I think the insult was insinuating she didn't watch the show, which is an insult a lot of people do throw out as like, you didn't even watch the show, bro. I feel like it's okay to, because you made a direct response to her, but I think I feel like I think that is so much more dismissive to girls than people think. Because when boys don't know something about their favorite anime, nobody goes like, did you watch it, bro? They just go, bro, how'd you miss that? But when as a girl who loves anime, a lot of people are like, did you even watch? I don't think you watched it. There's no way you sat through 800 episodes of One Piece. And I was like, okay. And they're like, well, I don't get how you watched it, but you don't know these things. Because it's 800 fucking episodes. I don't know. I'm going to forget some shit, bro. Like, it's like there is an accusation underlining there. But at the same time, she didn't have to go where she went. And the question is, why did she? Because she was probably triggered. You know what I mean? She was probably triggered. And so the point is, why are you getting triggered over this thing, girl? And why didn't you make the video at a later time? But the issue is like, did she apologize for it? Spoiler.
But here we are. Now let's address the other points in her video.
You're only liking the comments of people trying to be funny and referencing the few times I got jumped earlier in September, which lets me know that you knew exactly what you were doing when you were making this video.
So if you went through my comment section and see me liking all these comments, why didn't you show the screenshots of me saying that I actually didn't know that you were the one who was beefing with Bum Sulfur and other anime dude bros, as you say? I liked comments that agreed with me, of course, because they're agreeing with me on my video. So yeah, I'm going to like those comments. But the fact that you didn't point out me literally not knowing who you were is rather interesting. Now, this next point is also in her video and addresses the comprehension issue that she was talking about before.
I read an interview from Tite Kubo, and he said he didn't understand the world building until Nanami was introduced.
I agree. Tite Kubo is a great writer. However, whenever he said that he didn't understand things until Nanami got introduced, debunks your point because Nanami was introduced in season 1, and you said you watched season 1 and didn't understand it. Which was my entire point, but your entire rebuttal to that was saying that the difference is I'm just defining it and not comprehending it. So let's summarize real quick. Number 1. I didn't insult you whatsoever. I said no hate and actually didn't follow it up with an insult. However, you said no hate and followed it up with an atrocious racist comment. Number 2, you claimed I knew what I was doing by saying that I was liking comments that were not only agreeing with me, but of course talking about your previous situation. However, you didn't show these screenshots where I was literally saying to people, I didn't realize that that was you that was beefing with Bum Sulfur. And number 3, you brought up Tite Kubo to say that he didn't understand things as well until Nanami was introduced, but your entire argument was that you didn't understand things in season 1, but Nanami was introduced in season 1. Anime dude bros aren't coming for you. I very respectfully stitched your video and you got upset. It's a you problem.
Okay. He's going to probably have to eat those words in a second. Discord said, wasn't that her just saying it based off her previous experience with the JJ community, speaking to the community, jumping her? I don't understand why that is condescending. I don't think it's condescending. You said, or why would it make people defensive? They were already defensive to begin with. So it's like me saying, hey, Discord chatter, I know how you get, but I'm going to explain this to you. What do you mean that's how I get? Like, don't you feel like, what do you mean? What do you mean that's how I get? Like, don't you feel like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, hey, I know how you get. What does that mean? What do you say? So she started off the conversation with, I know how you get. And that just like, it makes people feel bad. But also, I think it's kind of funny. And I do it every time I say, let me hold your hand when I say this. Let me hold you. Indiana, please, really, can you make a decision? So when I say, like, let me hold your hand when I say this, I am kind of saying the same thing, only at least that's a universal, like, kind of nicety. It's like a funny to squish, you know? Yeah, Chad said it's like a bad faith move to start a convo, assuming people will react badly. Now, had she been more like me, where I'm like, you know, the boys are going to get pissed at this one, ladies, let's go, then it's coming from a place of power. But she kind of didn't follow it up with a power statement and said she went low. So if she came out and she was like, hey, thank you for the video reply. Hey, I'm kind of getting bombarded in the comments, which I thought would happen. And I'm kind of disappointed to see, but I'm just going to like repeat myself. But she didn't. She got defensive, which is fine in a human perspective. But it's interesting how this is going to go back and forth and escalate even more. So that's why I'm explaining, like, if you're going to do it with your full chest. If you're going to say this community sucks, do it with your full chest, like I do. But you know what I mean? Don't like come back and be like, I can't believe they were, you know what I mean? Like she's more triggered than she should be for somebody who knows that they're going to do it to her. But there's a reason she's triggered, because this community is a cesspool, which I'll show you in a second. Chad said I was watching a video from you like a year or two ago. I actually see a lot of growth. Do you think you've changed? Every day, girls. Every day we change. You better see growth. You will never see the same Britney year to year. Every 6 months, I change. If you've seen content more than 6 months ago, I'm probably not that person anymore. Yes, girl. Glad to hear it. Okay, next. Okay, this is her formal apology. This is her channel. My formal apology to the anime community and anime dude bros. Are we ready? Here we go.
To anyone who thinks, okay, so I just wanted to make a formal apology to anyone who thinks that I'm about to walk back anything I said, because I made it very clear that if I say something, I'm going to stand on it. Nothing I said was racist. Acknowledging that his mom went from the Philippines to America is not racist. Now, if she's not Filipino, then it could be inaccurate, but it's not racist. My mom went from Nigeria to America, and I went from America to Japan. Not only am I the child of an immigrant, I'm an immigrant myself. So there were no racial undertones. There was no racism in that comment. The comment was disrespectful, as it was meant to be, because I was trying to highlight that just because you say with all due respect doesn't mean that the next thing you say is suddenly respectful. Y'all.
Yes, Chad, she said by boat as well. Exactly, girl. By boat? Oh, it's going to get worse, though. You know, by boat. So we know by boat is a racist idea. Off the boat, fresh off the boat. All of that shit is racist. Oh, it gets worse. Get ready.
Y'all are still being disingenuous. Y'all are ignoring the part where he called me a liar, where he said I was being condescending. Y'all are ignoring the fact that for the last 3 weeks, a bunch of grown men have been dogpiling on me.
Definitely happened. Definitely bullshit too. So remember that it's like toxic v toxic at this point, because it gets pretty intense. She is 100% experiencing harassment, no doubt.
For my opinions, my perspective, and my experience with different animes, that's not normal. Y'all are talking about you're just mad because he corrected you. You cannot correct my experience. Y'all are doing this 100% because I'm a woman. And I just think it's so interesting how when I say something y'all perceive as racist, then y'all want to draw the line. But I've been called all types of niggers, monkeys, everything you can imagine over the last 3 weeks. So racism in the anime community is fine then. And I think it's even more disingenuous because, correct me if I'm wrong, ain't this the dude that was getting in trouble for liking all them racist comments and racist jokes about Miguel from JJK?
Uh-oh.
Okay, so racism is funny and it's laughable when he gets to laugh at it. But when I say something that y'all perceive as racist, that's where we want to draw the line. Y'all are being disingenuous. And y'all got the wrong one. Y'all got the right one, actually. Because I'm never going to walk it back. Also, I don't want anybody to feel like they got to defend me if they're going to be disingenuous. Like, if you're going to ignore that I very specifically said that first part of my video was in regards to him calling me a liar and telling people that I was condescending, then don't even bother. You don't got to defend me on nothing ever. I don't need no backup. That's the difference between me and how you men seem to operate in this space. Y'all need to team up like the Avengers for what? I still don't understand it. I don't need that, especially if it's not going to come from somebody that's going to be disingenuous about it. I hope this clears things up. Also, I am turning comments off on that video, not because I have anything to hide, but because I'm not racist and I'm not about to create an open forum for people to accuse me of being racist. So, and I'm sorry, and last but not least, and I hate to be that guy, but Filipino isn't a race. It's a nationality. Maybe I think it also qualifies as an ethnicity as well. So at worst, I'm xenophobic, not racist. If you're going to try to call me out about something, at least be accurate.
I'm sorry. That's so funny. I'm sorry. It's not funny, but it's so funny. Like, humans are so human. I can't. Yeah, she's going full debate sis. She is. She's like, actually, pedophilia is actually the attraction to prepubescent children. I love her. Okay, this is so bad. It gets worse. Again, it gets worse. Okay, hold on. Everybody get ready.
It's a nationality. Maybe I think it also qualifies as an ethnicity as well. So at worst, I'm xenophobic, not racist. If you're going to try to call me out about something, at least be accurate. Thank you.
Yeah, that wasn't the gotcha that you thought that it was. I know I said I wasn't going to respond, but at the end of the day, this isn't about anime anymore. It's about racism towards Asians and how it's often swept under the rug. So let's go over the points in her video.
Oh no.
My mom went from Nigeria to America, and I went from America to Japan. Not only am I the child of an immigrant, I'm an immigrant myself.
That was essentially saying the exact same thing as, I can't be racist because I have black friends. Had you simply just said that my mom should have swallowed, then yeah, absolutely. That wouldn't be racist at all. Because guess what? You wouldn't have brought up race.
Ooh, but it would have been misogynistic and I think sexist. I do. I think if why did you go for his mom? Like, why did you make his mom out to be a slut? You know, it's still gross. It's still so fucked up though. Like, and I know as a person who's trying to get like misogyny and sexism out of her jokes and her humor, it's like, you know what I mean? I get it. But like, it's still bad, right? Why do you have to go for his mother?
But instead, you specifically decided to bring up the fact that she was Filipino. I know my name says Pinoy Boy, but that was still irrelevant to the conversation. Not only that, but you specifically said that she came over from the Philippines on a boat. And we all know the connotations behind the fresh off the boat meme and the jokes around that when it comes to Asians. Oh, but don't worry. It only gets worse from here.
Y'all are doing this 100% because I'm a woman.
No, right. Chat said that was not at all the same as I have a black friend. No, it's not. It's the same as saying like, okay, I'm going to say it. It's like the same as saying like, it's like saying, I'm trying to use an example. I guess I could use myself. Like if I said, oh, I can't be anti-immigrant, my family's immigrants. It's like the people who voted for Trump and supports ICE, but then they say they love immigrants. Like you can't love immigrants and support ICE. You know what I mean? So maybe it's something more analogous to that, where she's trying to say, I can't be racist, I'm an immigrant. What is what you think immigrants aren't racist? Or I'm not sexist, I'm a woman. Yeah. It's more like that chat, you know, or saying I can't be racist because I'm black. Like, to be fair, a lot of, depending on how the conversation goes, some individual black people think they can't be racist because they're black, which obviously doesn't work that way. They can't have systematic power in order to be racist, but individuals all suffer from bias and prejudice. So there's that. Oh, you want to talk about mothers? Chat. You want to talk about mother? Okay, stop, gags.
Yeah, the only thing to address there, that just screams that you were ready to be the victim the entire time and already had preconceived notions about people who are going to respond to you, saying that it was just because you're a woman. However, I do think there's a part of you deep down that does know that you're wrong. However, you refuse to admit it because of your ego, and that's totally fine. At the end of the day, this interaction has revealed your character, not mine.
You know what's so annoying is I wanted to back her up so bad because I know she's dealing with racism and sexism in those comments. I just know she's being harassed because I get the same harassment too. But then she did what she did and I can't back it up. And then she doubled down on it and I can't back it up. I can't in good conscience, but I also am not going to back him up either. I will say, because he is ignorant and he is not engaging in the reality that like his initial video with a bigger following was automatically going to send hate her way. That's what he has to understand. Like he's at a male-dominated bubble with a male-dominated audience. They were gonna bother her, and he allowed the charge to be led her direction. But she, like again, I can't get behind either of them. But it's a good example to be used like for conversation. Okay, next part.
This creator does not give y'all the license.
Wait. Yeah.
To be anti-black in my comment section. I have gone through and blocked so many people, follower or not, because you are not going to go into my comment section and give out the exact same rhetoric that I am saying is bad and expect to be cheered by me. Racism is racism. The entire point of my second video was to highlight the fact that racism towards Asians specifically was often swept under the rug, but that does not give you permission to then be racist towards an entire other community. So in case that's not thoroughly obvious, I don't support that rhetoric on any side of the spectrum. And if you put that into my comment section, I will block you. And for the small percentage of people who have been trying to use this against me, guess what? You're still wrong. Yes, am I not going to catch every single comment, but that doesn't mean that I support the comment just because it slipped through. There is hundreds of comments in those videos. I am not going to catch them all. That does not mean though that I support what they say. And for the people leaving those comments, let me make it clear, you are not any better than the original creator that I stitched. Spewing out the exact same hateful rhetoric does not make you better. Please, for the love of all that is holy, let this be the last video I make on this topic.
It won't be. It won't be the last. Okay. This is her video now. We're back to her video. Most of y'all don't want an apology. Y'all want a pound of flesh, and I will never give y'all that apology from me. Okay, here we go.
Apology from me. And if I first, let me say the overwhelming majority of y'all do not want an apology from me. And if I gave y'all one, it would not be genuine. However, there is something that I need to account for. My intent in bringing up his mother coming from the Philippines by boat had no racial or xenophobic undertones.
She said it with too much passion behind it, though. Like she was trying to hurt his feelings. And the way you hurt people's feelings says something about you, right?
Whatsoever. However, I'm wise enough to know that sometimes intent and impact are not always in alignment. Fresh off the boat is a term widely used across immigrant communities, and that's what I was alluding to.
So now this is analogous to me saying growing up conservative and with an immigrant family, like this is me analogous to saying this is like when minorities, how do I give it an example? It sounds like the way when I was a Republican, I used to defend Republican policy against immigrants because I was raised by a MAGA conservative immigrant family. Like just because immigrants uphold racism doesn't mean it's not racist, or just because immigrants uphold the patriarchy doesn't mean it's not bad for us. Like just because immigrants do it doesn't mean it's good, right? Like we know our people are as like can be as ignorant. Just because you're a minority, it doesn't mean you've deconstructed. So it's like she's like trying to say, well, my parents say this. Well, we're immigrants and we say this. Oh, well, systematic racism against Black people can't exist because I'm an immigrant and I've never experienced. You know what I mean? It's like it's not what you think it is. It's not doing what you think it is, right?
When I referenced it in the comment, nothing more. However, after doing some research, I learned that that phrase was originally and specifically used to disparage Asian Americans. So, to the Asian community at large, I would like to genuinely apologize. Despite my intentions being far from racist or xenophobic, due to y'all's like historical relationship with that phrase, I could understand why me invoking that phrase felt like racially insensitive or racially charged. Again, that was not my intent.
But not racist? You could do a racism without meaning to, right? That's why we go, oh shit, that's racist. I gotta stop doing that. I didn't know that was racist. She doesn't want to take on the actual responsibility, which is interesting. Like she doesn't want to believe that she did a racist, which is interesting.
At all. But for some of you, that was the impact. And that alone is enough to warrant acknowledgement and apology on my part. And to address it, because I know that it will come up, I never doubled down on racism. I doubled down on saying that I didn't think my comments were racist. To be frank, I still don't think that what I said was inherently racist.
Girly.
However, the community that was affected by the comment did feel like it was racist, and that's enough.
So the community you offended said it was racist, but you don't think it's racist, so it's not racist. Reminder that this conversation started over plot and storytelling in JJK.
For me. To everyone else, and particularly to those of you who wanted to use this opportunity to continue to dogpile on me for being an educated Black woman who is not afraid to share her opinions on stuff, I think you're a real life loser and you do not move me. For the anime dude bros who are so obviously linking up like the Avengers to bully me, y'all are still punks. Y'all are still throwing stones and hiding your hands, and y'all do not move me. For the people who didn't even bother to watch my video to hear what I said, just ran with out of context versions and blatant lies, you are low-key proving.
You just, hold on, my original comments for the record, you just accused me of being condescending and a liar to your audience to hundreds of thousands of people. Sorry, no hate. Okay, yeah, that was her original video.
My point about the literacy crisis. And y'all do not move me. That being said, my hope is that the trolls can respect this comment section as a space for people in the community who was offended to air out any grievances they may have. But I want to be clear, if y'all try to turn my comment section into a clan meeting, I will turn off the comments on this video. I'm never going to hold space for y'all to dogpile and disrespect me. I will block the whole of TikTok and go back to the days when it was just me and 500 people on here, and I could talk in what felt like a community and not a constant ambush. Until then, I will continue to talk about anime, manga, and the racism and misogyny in the anime community online as I see fit. Because again, y'all do not move me. Lastly, to the people who took my comments in context and discussed it in context, I appreciate your objectivity, particularly those of you who honored that it was not racist, but did think I was wildin'. Okay, I appreciate y'all. Okay, but yeah, I hope this makes it to the For You page of the people who actually need to see it, not the people that don't move me.
Okay, so then, hold on. So then there's, hold up. Oh my God, there's so many. Hold on. This one. Okay, so then there's this one and this one.
With all
this is 2 days ago.
due respect, your mom should have swallowed you down before she got on the boat at the Philippines.
Okay, what's missing from this video is what Fraud Boy said, which is actually 10 times worse, maybe even 100 times worse than Ope the Otaku. He's made death threats, racist jokes, special needs jokes, encouraging violence against people in the community.
No way, Happy. There is no way you really thought you could.
By the way, guys, in case you're not picking it up yet, this is the whole bubble of anime talk. This is like these people consider themselves what's it called, mutuals or whatever. Like they're all like this is a bubble on the internet that I do not belong to, nor do I want to belong to, and I just want to observe it. That's like the YouTube bubble, but on TikTok, and they all know each other's names, and they all talk about each other, and they all make like comment like videos to each other. This is I felt like I was a peeping Tom, like checking out this bubble, like what is happening over here.
Use this opportunity to become relevant again. This thumbnail is a death threat to you? Are you that soft? Are you that soft? When you said that I was encouraging violence with this comment, why did you conveniently leave out the part where I literally responded saying, I don't support that? Oh, that's right. You said you were going to drag this for another 15 years.
Chat said that they are all going to see each other at the next anime con. Literally, it's so funny. And like, look, listen, this is what it felt like when I was in the debate bubble for a little time. And I'm so glad I'm out again because like, girl, but like, it feels crazy. Like, oh, we're all going to see. This is not the world. You want to watch the drama. You don't want to be in the drama.
Years. The same guy who said making memes for money is the same as selling your soul to the devil. See, I'm not going to mince words with you, Happy, because you brought my ex-wife into this.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to just say it flat out. You're a piece of shit.
Uh-oh.
You always have been. You were mutuals until I disagree with you on one thing, and you took it so personally, you blew up the entire thing.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and don't worry, I still have every single screenshot. So that whenever you try shit like this, like cropping out things I say, I'll just expose you as the exact same pathological liar you always have been.
Oh, damn.
A nice try, but that video got no views. And why am I not surprised in the slightest that Ope would believe all this nonsense?
She said, I'm genuinely so sorry all of that happened to you. I never said he shouldn't exist just because he's Filipino. In the video of me that you stitched, my exact comment was at the top. I did make that statement to be racist, but that was the impact, and that's why I apologized.
It's crazy.
Oh my God. Okay. So then there's this video. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Okay.
History. Oh, he's the darkest sorcerer in history. Since the hang, same energy across the board. I'm sorry, I'll try to keep a straight face, y'all.
As always, nothing but love for you, Jay. Y'all should go give that man a follow. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about these comments. Now, some people, in a desperate attempt to say that I'm anti-black, have gone back as far as March of 2024 to dig up some old screenshots. Now, I take full accountability here. I did indeed like those comments. However, once I realized that my community was not happy with that, I went ahead and deleted those comments, not the
video, but the comment.
Right. So you're showing us evidence that date back a year ago doesn't mean the same person at the least changed. And I understand these types of jokes are uncalled for. A year ago is nothing, and he deleted the year-old video today, so explain that.
And made a story post apologizing about it. Now, unfortunately, that story post was reported and taken down. However, of course, I did keep the screenshot because I knew that people would bring this back up. For me, I just thought that they were funny jokes that were a little bit edgy. However, I am not one to ever tell someone that they can't be offended by my actions or what I say. So once I realized that a large portion of my community were disappointed or upset, I went ahead and just deleted those comments because I didn't want to perpetuate them. And even before that video and since then, I have spoken up multiple different times on topics that affect the Black community in America. Not because it's performative, but because I truly believe that these issues do need to be talked about. Now, some people have gone as far as to try and lie and say that I deleted the video, but no, the video is very much still up there. I just deleted the comments because people weren't happy with them. So like I said, I take full accountability for the fact that I liked those comments because at the time, I thought that they were funny. However, it's been 1 year and about 6 months since then, and like I said, I deleted them at the time because I realized that people were being offended by it, and I didn't want to offend them.
Bro. Again, so he's not deleting them because he thinks they're wrong. He's deleting it because people are mad at him for thinking it's wrong, right? I'm not even trying to like trick him because you know I believe people change. I feel like I change every 6 months, right? No. Chat says, Brittany, just to be fair, her saying that about his mom is sexist because he brought his mom. Just to be fair, isn't it also sexist to say that he doesn't know where her clitoris is? Is it? Against men? You're saying it's sexist against men? Isn't it punching up because men traditionally don't learn where their women's clitoris is and that's the joke? Because men don't do their due diligence to care about details when it comes to women's bodies, which isn't even true because women don't own clitorises. It's not the joke. The joke is making fun of men for not knowing where a clitoris is. So you could say it's sexist against men. No, it's not sexist against his girlfriend. Chet said it's sexist against his girlfriend. No, it's sexist against him because it's making fun of men. The joke is making fun of men, not making fun of her. If anything, gets in defense of her because, you know what I mean? And I don't even know if he has a girlfriend. That's the joke. I don't know anything about this man. I don't even know if he has a girlfriend. She doesn't exist. That girl knows he has a mother. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know that he has a girlfriend. He could be single. He could be gay. But she knows he has a mother because he came from somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the difference. I don't know anything about this man. He could be gay. Is he gay? He has an ex-wife. Is he? I don't know what he is. I'm just learning this with you guys. So my joke is more a joke at men. It's a play on men. You could argue it's sexist against men, but I would say it's culturally observant more than anything.
People, because it's not my job to determine whether I offend somebody or not. So Jay, brother, I love that you brought this up. I appreciate you as always. And yes, as always.
He was like, a black man defended me. I love it when black people are on my side. Okay, let's go here. Let me pull this up. So I just watched this. Okay. This is, okay, so that's, did she make?
First, let me say.
Okay, so she hasn't made a new video in 2 days, but he has made quite a few. Let me make sure I've watched all of them. No, there's this one. No, there's this. There's, actually, wait, is that it? This one? This one. Just watched this one. Hold on, I think that, did I do this one already? Hold on, girlies. There were so many to pull up.
I can't believe y'all are making me make a third video on this, but the situation with this creator does not give y'all the license to be anti-black in my.
Okay, no, we did see this. We did see this. Okay, I think that's it. I think as of 2 days ago, there's no update. That's the end of it. Okay, what do we think? I think that's it. I'm just checking. Hold on, I'm checking. I think I got it. I think I caught us up. Okay, what do we think overall? You know what I mean? Chess says, so did we reach an agreement on JJK? Love JJK. One of my all-time favorites. If I have to go very, very deeply into JJK about whether or not it's good storytelling, whether or not, I would say that it's good enough. You know what I mean? Right? It's like good enough. You know? Chet said, fair enough. Brittany just wanted to clarify. Many people could interpret it as sexist stereotypes about real men. Know how to blah, blah, blah. So glad you clarified. Oh. Real men know where the clitoris is. Oh, yeah. I think considerate partners know where their partner likes to be touched. But the joke is that, because he asked, how did you watch season 1 of JJK and not know XYZ. And I said, the same way you don't know where your girlfriend's clitoris is. I'm saying you can be with somebody and still not know things because you still have to be taught things in a way that your brain comprehends. That's the commentary. It's like a humorous way to make, like, his point doesn't make sense because I've also seen GJK multiple times and could not tell you how it works because I'm not making a concerted effort to remember. So the same way you didn't make a concerted effort to learn where her clitoris is the same way she didn't make a concerted effort. Now, she could argue she did make an effort and she still doesn't get it. And in that case, I would say then she hasn't found the right person and the right way to explain it to her. But I would say that I feel like if I made a concerted effort, I could figure it out. You know? So JJK is really good. I really like it. I'm looking forward to season 3. I do not care that Gojo is in a box. I'm going to watch this show even if Gojo isn't in it. Do not give fucks. Because I like Itadori. I like the other characters. I like the world in general. I like the animation. I like the way it makes me feel. I'm still going to watch it, right? The same way I'm going to watch Hell's Paradise, even though I think Hell's Paradise was way worse in terms of story. Holy shit. This is Mappa's big 3. Hell's Paradise, they could have done so much better with that. But it's still pretty to look at. I still like the fight scenes. I'm still going to watch it. But they could have done so much more with that season 1. You know what I mean? They could have done so much better with that. Definitely. Ted says, can you rank your favorite characters and why? Girl, I can't remember half the names of any of the animes I watch. Listen to me when I say this. Because I watch anime and sub, I almost don't know anybody's names. The only way I'm going to learn a character's name is if I hear it in English. I cannot understand the Japanese. I do not know when they're saying names, almost ever. Like, yeah, I have name blindness too. Guys, I cannot hear sounds. So like when I watch, especially because my partner, like we watch a lot of anime and sub is so good. It's, oh my God. What's the guy's name? What's Shadow Boy's dad's name? Toji. You know Toji? His Japanese voice is so much better than his dub. His dub is good. All the dub is good. But his voice in Japanese is exactly what I imagined. It's raspier, it's lower, it's darker. His anime voice is a little too young for me. I was going to name him Megumi, but I named him Megumi. It's like a little too like, haha, but this was like, it's raspier. It's like, you know what I mean in Japanese? It's like deeper and darker. It's so much better. But it's still good, you know? I like the Gojo in English. I like the Gojo in Japanese. It's, again, when I watch art, I have to sometimes watch it many times to understand it. But more than that, I notice different things every time I watch something. The reason I'm thinking about rewatching JJK, I just told my partner this morning, I think I'm going to rewatch JJK. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah. Like, it'll be like my 3rd time rewatching it. I think I should rewatch it. And it's like, why? And it's like, because, well, he rewatches anime too. It's not like he's asking me why, but he's asking me why JJK, not something else. I think I want to see what I missed. So every time I watch something, I learn something new. I don't get it all the first time, ever. 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 And so I think the insinuation that she didn't get it the first time on watching is just like disappointing. Okay, Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man, big 3, right? Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise, JJK. Chainsaw Man? Guys, the storytelling's... It's fun. I like it, but it's like... Now, okay, I've been thinking about why I don't love Chainsaw Man in terms of the characters. I don't care about any of them. Let me tell you why. I don't think my life was fucked up enough. I think if your life was really fucked up, you probably love Chainsaw Man because the main character is so sad, but his motivation sucks. But his motivation would suck if he was abused that way. I assume if you were that severely abused, your motivation also sucks. Guys, there are so many other choices he could have made with his life. But also he couldn't have because he's so fucking abused. But it's like a fun show, but like, I don't think I was fucked up enough as a kid. I will be real. But I'm going to say for kids who were, it's probably a really nice show to watch. You probably feel really seen. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just like, it's whatever. Like, it's fun. I like it well enough, but I'm not personally like, you know, moved by it. Now, I'll say for JJK, I did cry multiple times in JJK. I'm much more of a JJK girly. I feel much more emotionally in tune with JJK. And yeah, I did cry for JJK, but I didn't cry for Chainsaw Man or for Hell's Paradise. That's kind of how I gauge how I'm feeling about a show. Is did it make me cry? Did it pump me up? Did it make me feel inspired? JJK makes me want to work out. It makes me cry. And I like it in general. You know, that scene, that ends fight with the curse. I can't remember anyone's names. And Toto, when Toto shows up. And I'm just like, oh, I was like, oh. Oh my God, the way he goes and he slaps her face and Itadori's screaming and it's just like, boom. And then like, oh, and then it's just like, what the, okay. I'm crying, I'm bawling, I'm on the floor. I'm literally gagged, I'm vomiting. Okay, the whole reveal of the brother, like I was just like, you know? Heck, you know the scene where the molten curse, his brothers die? I was crying. Shit hurts when your brother dies, bro. You know what I mean? Shit made me cry. And he's a curse. I cried for a curse, bro. I was like, damn. I was like, I'm kind of mad that they killed his brothers. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel for the curses as much as I feel for the humans, which I think is their point. I really feel for the humans, bro. When the two girls, when the sisters die with their little phones, she was so mad. Oh, she was so mad. They whoosh, you know? Yeah. Ted says, I almost cry every time a demon dies in Demon Slayer. I haven't seen season 2 because I only saw season 1. But isn't that the Demon Slayer meme? The Demon Slayer meme is how dare you make me cry over every demon. It's true. Yeah. Discord said, I'll never forget y'all talking about everything everywhere all at once and how some people just aren't fucked up enough to connect to it. Hey, everywhere, everything everywhere all at once. That is one of those movies that, like, as a fucked up queer kid in the home I grew up in, immigrant home I grew up in, cried every time I watched that movie. But some of y'all weren't fucked up in the same way. So you don't get it. Some people, like, literally were like, what's the whole queer plot? I don't get it. This is so boring. Like, this queer plot is so dumb. Like, who cares? Her mom treated her mom liked her. Her grandpa was cool with her. The grandpa was like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you do not understand. You don't get it, bro. You got to be fucked up in the right way. You know, and then again, Solo Leveling. Okay, so I watched Solo Leveling because my brother was like, Brit, Solo Leveling. I watched it and I was like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, Solo Leveling was fine. It was okay, but it just wasn't, it felt like a boy fantasy. It felt like a jerk off for teenage boys to feel good about themselves. I'm sorry, which I understand is a lot of anime and I'm here for it, but it had no character, bro. It just had nothing. There was nothing. He got hot in 3 episodes and everyone's like, oh my God. So you want to be hot. See how boys want to be hot? Boys want to be hot. That's why they watch anime. I was thinking about this the other day. Geto and Gojo, y'all want to be hot. That's why you watch anime. You sit there and you want to have a 6-pack like Toji. You want to have his muscles. You want to be cool like Hanami. You want to be cool like all these boys. You're like, yeah, that's my fantasy. You watch Vegeta and Goku fight it out and you're like, that's me and my boys. That's not you and your boys. Please. That's not you and your boys. Come on now. We love the fantasy. Okay, and I'm here for it. But do you know it's a fantasy? Because sometimes these boys take their misogyny, and this is where I'll wrap up the topic. Some of these boys take their misogyny and their love for anime and think girls can't join in. They say, oh, they love the girls in the shows and the girls are like beasts and everything. But then girls can't join in the same way. You don't let them because you make it a boys club. You do. My brothers will talk all day about how the girls are beasts, but then the misogyny comes out, the sexism comes out. There's a line in the sand of when the girls can like be brought into the conversation. Oh, the girls are beasts, but it's like, okay, cool. Got it. And to be fair, that's the media they consume as well, right? Was Katara ever given the props the same as Zuko or Aang? Now, Azula was, but Azula was crazy, like girls are. You know what I'm saying? When you watch shows, the question is, do the girls, even though they're given a lot of credit, are you as impressed by them as you are as the Gojos or the Getos or the other boys? Do the girls feel? Because what happened at the end of JJK? Girl gets hit in the forehead, okay? She goes down, and Itadori gets the absolute ever-living shit fucked out of him, and somehow always survives. Plot armor much. Now, apparently she's alive, maybe. Fingers crossed. I don't know. At the end of that season, I was given hope. I don't know if that's true. I did not read ahead. I do not have spoilers. Do not spoil it in my chat. But in my head, Nobara is still alive. Because that's how they made me feel by the end of season 2 for some reason. I don't know if I misunderstood the Japanese. Okay. I don't know if I understood the Japanese. Okay. Don't tell me. But like, that's the feeling I got by the end of season 2. Okay, listen. Like, she doesn't get as strong at the same pace the boys do. And I do think that's annoying. Like, that's like sexism a bit. Like, the characters don't get, like, the boy, just generally speaking. That's why Urza in Fairy Tail was kind of amazing, because Urza actually, like, stood up to the boys in a lot of ways. Like, she was considered one of the best. And so she kind of got that feel, like, she was the queen. So she's queen of the fairies or whatever. So, like, she kind of got, like, that feeling. Or even, I guess, like, I don't know. I don't know, who's to say? At the end of the day, it's all just art and it's meant to be consumed and you're meant to use it to inspire you to do better, hopefully. Hopefully you don't watch it and you're like, you know, Geto has a point. You're like, you know, like that Geto though, he hot. He got a point. Hot people got points, you know? But hopefully you watched it and you just thought like, okay, how do I be a better person? How does this inspire me to be better? Like the whole lesson of Gojo, I hope you took away from this, is that he is the Goku and Geto is the Vegeta. And it's better to be Geto in the sense that he's more real. But it's obviously better to have the hopes and dreams and optimism of Geto and Goku because they get to be not real. They get to actually want better for the universe. Because unlike Magneto, Professor X was right. The strong should protect the weak. You know? Yeah. Chad says, what anime do you think is good at portraying women? I mean, so many animes are pretty good at portraying them. Like, even in JJK, the women are great. It's not that they're not good. Okay, I just asked my partner to please find me Sailor Moon dub, the one I grew up with, the DIC one. I was like, please find me the Sailor Moon. It's my favorite. But I think that there's a lot of women and a lot of anime that I think anime, in my opinion, is one of the greatest mediums to have female representation or women representation or even queer representation that feels good and better than anything I've ever seen. But it is still primarily written by men. It is still primarily consumed by men. It is always going to have a little bit of a flaw. I think One Piece is a great representation of women. I also think at the end of the day, it's still written by a fucking man. You know, and even you know, so rumor has it, no, wait. That's the wrong thought. Hold on, I had a thought, but I think that's the wrong thought. Never mind. Screw that thought. Look at me catching myself. But I will say that it's not that they have to be written by women to be good women, but I do think that sometimes even the way women write, we uphold the patriarchy with our writing. So we're flawed in even the way we write about ourselves. Because I think we internalize that we're less than. And so we even end up writing characters that are less than, which is why Sailor Moon was so amazing, because Sailor Moon is the strongest. She is always the strongest. She is always number one. It's like she internalized none of that. That's why Sailor Moon, this ditzy girl that everyone underestimates, is always stronger even than the boys. Even than the boys. I think, yes, Sailor Moon comes to mind because, but then Sailor Moon isn't one of those animes that men respect. Boys don't like it. They don't get it. They don't relate to it. But I think it's so digestible. It's so good. But it's not, it's not like a JJK. Sailor Moon, the fight scenes are not JJK fight scenes. We need an anime that's like JJK fight scenes, but more gender inclusivity. Because I don't even want an anime that doesn't have boys in it. I just want the underlying story to be like, because at the end of the day, and I think this is what men and women are missing, if you gender binary it like that. This, okay, let me show you. Let me show you why I think, let me show you that I think, oh, hold on, I got this. Hold on. Man, I'm going to be up all night editing this podcast. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, give me a second. Let's see if I can find this for you. Is this it? Okay, hold on. Okay, I want to show you this video, which I showed my Discord. Oh my God, TikTok is just frozen.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I've been just sort of going through a midlife crisis. You know, I just feel kind of lost. I just don't know what direction I should head in. I don't know if I'm an actor anymore.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt you, but...
No, I love your opinion.
Can you say you crying, but like, you know, in that voice? Wait, I'm sorry.
You crying?
Okay, so like...
You know, I just feel...
He's just a normal fucking
sort of going
dude.
through a midlife...
Look at this normie ass fucking dude. Okay? Ungroomed, unstyled, nerd to a T, a little chunky, we love him. That's your Gojo. That's the male fantasy. The male fantasy is that that's Gojo. And he's got a sexy ass voice and I'm here for it, girls. Okay? And I love it. I love a chunky, ungroomed man. Okay? But this is not your Gojo because Gojo doesn't exist. This fantasy of having six-pack and being muscular and showing up and being perfect, like that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's the fantasy. The male fantasy is I can be nerdy at home and be the fighter on, you know, so when boys kick girls out of anime spheres, they're like, you're not cool enough. You could never make it in a fight. Neither can you, bitch. That's the energy these boys give at Comic-Con when they're like, you would never win in a fight, actually. And it's like, do you think you're winning in a fight? And they do, by the way. They do think they're winning in a fight, which is why it's so funny. Okay? And I love a nerdy boy, but it is the fantasy. And that's why the sexism is so annoying. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, this space is so safe for girls. Like, we don't even mind if girls are here. But also, she would never actually win in a fight. Okay? It's like, yeah, I don't know what conversation we're having right now. You know what I mean? That's the energy. So anyways, all of this to say, I love it. You know, I love the voice actors. I love how they're all just nerdy boys behind a camera getting to live out their fantasies. Have you seen the voices who do Vegeta and Goku? Hardly fuckable, but that's not the point because that's the fantasy. The fantasy is, and everyone's fuckable in their own way, but the fantasy is you're fucking Goku and Vegeta, you're fucking Toji, you're fucking Gojo, you're fucking Geto, these people are fuckable. You know, or you're fightable. That's the dream. The fantasy is I'm hot like them. Everybody wants to live in a fantasy world, you know? Or if you're a kid watching Avatar, that kids can save the world, right? Right? Avatar, The Last Airbender is making kids feel powerful in the world like you can do something, because you can. You know? Yes, chat says, Brit, have you seen Japanese Sinks 2020? I have. I really liked it. I really liked it. Yeah. We watched it. We discussed it with the Discord. Yeah. We really liked it. I really liked that. That was really good. Yeah. So anyways, yeah. Chat says you hear a sexy voice. So in a sexy body, you add a sexy body. I just watched that episode of Seinfeld where Elaine is flirting with a guy from Blockbuster over the phone. And she loves his movie pics. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so into you. And he's got this great sexy voice. And then she shows up at his apartment and his mom is there and he's like 15. And she's like, I gotta start drinking. And I was like, girl, you gotta start drinking, you know? It's like, oh yeah, ooh. And it's like, and I just know, that's what I'm saying. That's the joke. Oh, this hot girl's messaging online. Is she like, maybe she's a man. You know what I mean? It's like, anyways, all of this to say, girls, that back and forth between those anime talk people was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Oh my God, what a crazy like roller coaster that was. Just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we don't have to watch it anymore. But all I have to say is this. Just because you're a minority doesn't mean you've deconstructed, doesn't mean you're introspective, doesn't mean you've really like thought about things, and that's okay because it's a journey, but don't give yourself credit that you haven't earned, right? I just loved her justification at the end. Just because this community said it was racist Doesn't mean I think it is, but I'm sorry I offended them. It's like, well, if that's not racist, I don't really know what is. You know what I mean? Like, how is that not racist? Like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't get the logic. Like, how is that? Like for less crimes, we call things racist, which they are. For less offensive things you can say, it's racist. I don't even know how that's not racist. You know what I mean? Let me say it like this. If what you just said I would hear at a Klan meeting, it's probably racist. It doesn't mean minorities like that. You remember the show? Wasn't it called Fresh Off the Boat? Just because minorities reclaim sentences doesn't mean it's not racist. Yeah, Fresh Off the Boat was the Asian family comedy sitcom. Yeah, but who does that sitcom appeal to? White people. Like Blackish. Blackish isn't a show for black people. So, yeah. But, you know, that's a whole other bubble deep dive into like media and TV shows and all that other stuff. And by the way, I really liked Blackish, but I'm not it's made for me. You know what I mean? It's made to be a nice sitcom show that doesn't actually have really deep conversations about anything, but it makes you feel like you are. It doesn't actually like speak to the black experience, but it's kind of like, because they're a sitcom family. You know what I mean? Blackish reminds me of like all the sitcom TV shows. You know what I mean? It's not deep. That's the point. It's you know, it covers deep topics in the way that like Full House did. It's Full House, but with a black family. It's fun, but it's not, you know, not really doing the thing. You know, so Fresh Off the Boat, same thing. It's like it's giving you a story. It's about an Asian family that immigrated, but it's not getting there the same way that people would feel like deeply seen in the same way. You know what I mean? What? Chat said I found Fresh Off the Boat hard to sit through all the way. I didn't watch it. I've only seen clips. So much filler. Plus, apparently the woman who played the mom was essayed on set. Damn. Chat says, did you watch Atlanta? Okay, I'm going to be so honest about Atlanta. Are you ready for this? I think I got 3 episodes in and I had cried so much. I just couldn't do it anymore. I was so fucking depressed. I was like, this is the most beautifully made show. If I watch any more, I'm going to die from the pain I feel. It was so well acted. It was so well made. And I'm just like, one day I'm going to go and I'm going to watch Atlanta. But at the time when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, I can't handle how this is. It is such an intense show. Like, I can't wait to go back and finish it, but I only got a few episodes in and I was like, I got to take a break. Now, if I remember correctly, this is one of my worst mental health. This is when I was living in Seattle, right? Because I remember I was already going through it. When did this come out? When did Atlanta come out? 26, exactly. Fucking exactly. 2016. And I was dying because of Trump. I was in therapy. Trump had just got elected and I was in the worst mental health era of my life in that toxic relationship in that small ass apartment with my ex, 475 square feet with a man I was so toxically engaged with. And now we're watching this show and everything that was happening in America felt so relevant. And I was like, I can't handle this. And I know that it was a privilege for me to turn off that show because it is not my lived experience. And I utilize that privilege to maintain my mental health, which I stand by. But I also know it was a privilege to turn off that show because that's people's, you know, real life and real story. They don't get a choice to turn it off. But I will go back to it one day because I will go back to it one day. Okay, girls, wish me luck. I got to lock in. My tech busted on me this morning. I was so stressed. I woke up super early to edit my pod. And then for 4 hours, I was fucking with my computer. And I fixed it or whatever. And now I have to go and edit my pod. But I lost like 4 hours of editing time, which means I'm going to be uber late with the podcast. But it's going to be worth the wait, girl. Okay? Wait for me, Argentina. I'm just kidding. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Funny, bro.